Everybody come see the great show. Get a ball, and roll. Everybody come see the great show. Get a ball, and roll.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the Blake and Sal Show with Mark. For over 10 years, dominating the podcast world. Now sit back, relax, and get ready to have some fun. Let's welcome your hosts, Blake, Sal, and Mark.
Yes, boy.
Hello and welcome to the Blake and Sal Show with Mark, episode number 502. I am your host, Blake, and I'm not gonna lie, 2 months ago, I'm like, I need to start the show with a Pretty Deadly theme music, and I kept forgetting to, and I'm like, oh wait, it's WrestleMania week, I have to do it now. This is the last shit I'm gonna have to do it for this year, so let's do it. We're gonna open up with this. So there we go, Pretty Deadly theme, opening up the show today. Let's bring on my co-host. We're not wasting time today. We have a lot going on. Let's bring on, first of all, our personal paragon of true virtue, the biggest deal in podcasting. Sal, how you doing?
I am a little tired. I was in the rain for like 6 hours yesterday in the city, and yeah.
That does not sound fun. That does not sound fun. But again, when we were in the city, it was ridiculously cold. The day we were in the city, so who knows anymore? You know?
Yeah.
You picked the best days to go to New York City. You really do.
You're welcome.
Oh yeah. Well, okay. Let's bring on our other co-host, the man, the myth, the legend, Mark. Dad, how you doing today?
Doing well. Trying to stay out of the rain and sleet and whatever crap we got outside.
Yeah, for those listening, we're recording this literally on the Wednesday before Mania, and it is snowing. It's actually snowing here in Milwaukee as we're doing.
Yeah, I was going to say, get the Blame It on the Rain song ready just in case.
Going on today, like what?
April 3rd, and we're getting this crap. What the hell is going on?
I can't with this weather. Like I can't. I don't know what to say, but actually, you know what's because you said it, and I didn't even have it on here, but this is how fast I get things done.
Blame it on the rain that was falling. Blame it on the stars that shine that night. Whatever you do, don't put the blame on you. Blame it on the rain.
No.
So Siri must be listening, because as you were playing that, I just got a flash flood watch on my computer.
Oh, that's amazing. That's so
wow.
funny.
Wait a minute. That means Sal's going to get ready to move to higher ground.
That was perfect timing.
That was hysterical.
Wow.
Anyhow, we don't pull that bit out that often. That's very funny. All right, we have a special guest on the air today. She wasn't originally going to be on this week, but when she was told she could stay home this week and work from home, I asked her, "Hey, you want to do the podcast while you're working?" And she's like, "Sure."
I'm on my own against the wall. The pressure's building, but no, I will never fall. Instead of crying, they hear me roar. And now I see that I'm way better than before. I never needed you at all. Think of all of them. I'm gonna watch you fall down. I'm living large now. I never needed you at all. Think of all of them. I'm gonna watch you fall down. I'm living large now. I never needed you at all.
There's a different energy when you do these shows in the morning. There really is a whole different energy. Let's bring on my beautiful wife, my partner when it comes to this crazy couple of months that it's been, not getting enough credit for his due. So I'm giving her the credit right here on the air. Mandy, welcome to the show.
Hello, gentlemen, and thank you.
Yes. Yeah, like I said, mornings is a whole different energy in here. Whole different thing in here. I
That's
love
because
it.
I'm not like exhausted by the afternoon like I normally am.
Speaking of energy, Mandy seems like she's hasn't got that in yet.
Well, let's be honest here.
That's what she said.
I was just, I was gonna say that maybe later tonight. Huzzah!
When did
Well,
Christian come to the show?
it is post 72 hours after chemo.
That is
so-
true. That is
Yes.
true. That is the rule. That is the rule. Oh,
So she's gonna be an X-Men?
I don't even go with that. Let's move on. Quick plug: if you have not already, you should go pick up Mandy's book. I know I am available at Amazon, Barnes Noble, and Art Publishing in English and in Spanish. All right, before we get into the show, one thing I have to cover. So last week we did the whole live show. We did like the 2 hour live show, over 2 hours. Did a whole thing, and then I go check my email for the show, and a voicemail came in right after we were done. Right after we were done.
Damn Google.
Literally 20 minutes after we were done, as I'm editing, as I'm putting up the show, a voicemail came in. We were doing things. So
Timing is everything.
only fair.
Believe it or not, George isn't at home. Please leave a message at the beep. I must be out, or I pick up the phone. Where could I be? I'm not home.
Beep.
So, so since Mandy's here, I asked her, since it's one voicemail left, and she wasn't here for all the fun last week because she was in the office. I let her read it off, and I'm not gonna put it up on the screen. It's on everyone's run sheet. You see it on everyone's run sheet. I'll put it up in post. I'll put the graphic up in post so everyone can see it. But honey, to you, the final voicemail from Show 500 afterwards.
What's up, Blake's Sal?
Oh, Blake Sal.
Yes. And Mark. CM Stevens here. Dave Boss. Whatever you is all called me, keep ass. 500, 500 episodes. That is quite the feat. As in
F-E-E-T,
the one,
mind you.
yes, the feat. Many podcasts don't make 5 episodes and whatever. Hey, I personally take offense to that. I think we did 11, Nadine.
10.
But you all have managed collectively to get out 500. Congratulations to everyone involved, and here's to 500 more. Thanks, guys, for having me on over the years, and good luck with 500 more. Take care. Keep ass. I just added
That should be the name of this episode. Keep ass.
Yeet.
Yeah, let's actually play the voicemail.
What's up, Blake, Sal, and Mark? CM Stevens here, Dave, Boss, whatever you have all called me. 500 episodes. That is quite the feat. Many podcasts don't make 5 episodes and whatever. But you all have managed collectively to get out 500. Congratulations to everyone involved, and here's to 500 more. Thanks, guys, for having me on over the years, and good luck with 500 more. Take care.
Thank you, Dave,
Wait,
our former boss.
what was the keep ass?
I believe kick ass. I think that was. Oh no, I think it was
Yes.
cheap ass. No, I think we called him cheap ass. Other than that
Oh,
one.
cheap ass. Okay.
By the way, I'm not sure if that was Google Translate or just his bad phone connection. I'm not sure what that was. That was terrible phone connection.
Keep ass or keep ass or
Blame
keep
it
ass?
on the rain. Yeah.
Holy hell, this is gonna be fun today. All right, let's get right into things.
And now, let's get into the crazy world of professional wrestling.
All right, first of all, happy Mania Week, everybody. That's officially what we're here. As people hear this Friday before Mania.
Yes.
It takes us all year to get here, but I look forward to it. This year, I got to admit, this year I'm looking forward to WrestleMania more than I have in years. I don't know what it is. It's just I'm really looking forward to this year.
Is it because of sex pervert isn't running it this year.
Yeah, and also maybe that's true. That's number one.
There you go.
That's number one. And number two, the storylines are actually making more sense. The stories make more sense. There's so much more going on, and we'll talk about it when we get to the main show. Like, there's so much going on. It's gonna be a lot of fun.
There's so much wrestling going on this week. It's just phenomenal.
Yeah, well, I'm looking forward to Mania itself. We'll get to that in a couple minutes. Before we get into all this little weekend stuff, for the one thing I will say, the Bray documentary came out on Monday. We're going to get into it next week, because I want to get into an actual conversation about it, an actual talk about it. And if Sal hasn't seen it yet, and I will go out there and say this is one of the best docs WWE put up in a very, very long time.
I assume it's on Peacock.
Not Peacock. Not
Yes,
Peacock.
it
It's on it's actually currently on the main page of Peacock right now, like on the main
Oh,
page.
okay.
You don't have to go to WWE Hub to find it. It's right there on the
Okay.
main page. It's a fantastic. It's a 2-hour documentary, but it doesn't feel like 2 hours. It flew by. It was such a good doc.
That's like Blake told me that you'll get emotional watching this, and I kind of went okay, and then you do get emotional watching this.
But anyway, so we'll get more into it next week. I promise. As we do the WrestleMania week recap next week, we'll get more into that. So that's that. So that being said, let's get right into our normal WrestleMania WWE weekend stuff. All right, let's start. WWE Hall of Fame class of 2024 taking place this is on Friday. So tonight, right after SmackDown. It's right before, because I think last year was the first year they did it after SmackDown, right in the venue, right after SmackDown.
Yeah, I believe you're right.
Well, how do you feel about this? I liked it last year. I thought it was well done. I thought it was well paced. What do you guys think about it being right after SmackDown? Like, it's been now the second year in a row. How do you watch it? You watched it with me in the living room. We were kind of high by the time we got to the end of the show. But honey, what do you think?
I liked it. I liked just the fact that it couldn't drag out as long. It made sense too. I mean, you figure you have pretty much everyone there already. You have a built-in audience. I like it. And I think it kind of is a good start to the weekend.
And you know, still an extra ticket. And everyone's in a good mood usually right after SmackDown. So like, it helps. It really does help.
Yeah.
So what's getting
you're already nickel and diming everyone throughout the weekend for everything. So just
this year with the WWE World. They added the WWE World thing this year, which is a whole different thing. So but I think it's starting as we're doing the show. I think actually it's starting the WWE World thing. So
like now,
I think around now, right around now. I think it's starting.
Wow.
It's either today or tomorrow.
Well, it's definitely today. I know it's today because they have stuff going on like the network later on today. I just don't remember like what time, but it definitely is today.
It's one of the Pat McAfee shows, right?
Yeah, I think that's today or tomorrow. There's 2 Pat McAfee shows. There's a whole bunch of stuff going on over there, and they're doing the Slammies on Sunday. They're doing like a whole bunch of crazy.
I am so excited about the Slammies.
I don't know. I need a start time. I need to start time so I can plan my Sunday. I gotta watch that.
Not gonna lie,
I need to watch
Slammies. Slammies in the '90s were elite. So
I don't know what the Slammies being run by Triple H is like. I wonder what that's gonna be like. You know what I mean? Like, it's gonna be a whole different show. You know what I mean?
my thing is, if you're doing the Hall of Fame after SmackDown, wouldn't it make sense to do the Slammies after Raw?
No, because I think you start WrestleMania Sunday with the Slammies. I like that spot actually. Starting the WrestleMania Day, like
the other thing to keep in mind is by the time we hit Raw, we are done.
I agree.
I guess. Yeah. Okay.
So I assume the Slammies are going to be pre-taped.
No, they're doing it live from the World on Sunday morning.
Oh,
it's gonna be live on from the World on YouTube on Sunday morning.
That's interesting.
Yeah,
okay.
It's a live show. It's gonna be live on. I guess I'm waiting. That's the only start time they haven't announced yet. That's the only one they haven't announced.
Okay.
Yeah, so that's pretty cool. Like that's really cool. And then, by the way, the Pat McAfee stuff will be on ESPN in its normal time slot. So all the stuff they're moving up from the World, the Pat McAfee show will be on ESPN. Will be that day's show. So It's all pretty
Interesting.
cool. Like it's actually better promotion this year that I feel like they're getting more cross promotion this year than they have in years past because of Rock and having the Pat McAfee show there and all
Yeah.
that stuff. So I like it. Like there's so much more going on this year. So, but let's get to the whole thing. We have they finally during SmackDown, during Raw, I mean, finally finalized the class. And yet we still don't have one inductee. I don't one person who's inducting them yet. We haven't found that out yet. But we'll go from the top here in the order they announce things. First of all, Leah Maivia is being inducted by The Rock. I feel like number one, The Rock being on the board obviously has something to do with this.
Yeah.
You think?
Number two, and I don't know if you watched Young Rock, Sal. I know the three of us did. If you watch Young Rock, you actually learned more about the history of Leah Maivia that honestly I didn't know. I didn't know the history of Leah Maivia until you watched Rock, where you realize that she was a hell of a promoter. A hell of a promoter. So like she does deserve this honor. If you have the Rock inductor, it's pretty damn cool. Honey, I'll throw it to you. I know you and me watch Young Rock. And we have that kind of opinion on this. Go ahead.
I think she was definitely a trailblazer. I think that without her, things would not have been for women as they were. And granted, it was a rocky road getting there, but she definitely did some things that had never been done by a woman before in wrestling. And despite some of her shady ways to go about it, I think that she took the reins when High Chief, thank you, passed. And I think that she brought honor to her family's name. I think The Rock doing it obviously makes sense. Although I would have liked to see Ava involved in some way because I know Ava was very close to her as well. So
what's interesting is I know she pops up all over the place still to this day. She'll just pop up places. Like I know there was I think it was the night that Nia returned at the Rumble that everyone knew something was going on because Leah was there.
honey,
What?
she's not showing up anywhere.
Who was it? Who was the one that kept popping up everywhere? Was that
Rock's mom.
Rock's mom? Yeah, Rock's mom kept popping up everywhere. But you know
I
what I
was
mean?
gonna say Leah ain't showing up.
Think about it. Who's actually accepting? Do we know who's accepting for her?
It honestly, I think that it should be
It'd be
Ava and
Rock's mom.
I was gonna say that's the person that makes
and Ava.
Yeah, it could be Rock's mom. Ava. Naya is another.
That's a good point. That's a good call.
Yeah.
I was just thinking about Ava because Ava just kind of just like we've kind of gotten used to her just being the general manager of NXT now.
Yeah.
I just kind of used to her, which is weird. Like it was a big deal, and now it's just like, it's Ava. Okay, cool.
But yeah,
it's there.
Leah will not be
my brain is
accepting the award.
I'm sorry, my brain is just not 100% today. But you're right, 100%. You're right. But Sal, any thoughts before we throw it to Dad to do what he does?
Nope.
Hey, Dad, do your thing.
She was a very, very shrewd businesswoman and realized that in order to make a difference with her organization, she ruled with an iron fist and made sure she tried to keep her talent happy. And she was upset when talent basically said they're going to work for her, but they're working for another promotion. So she's one of those that if you don't want to work for me, then you're dead to me. I can't use you. I'll find someone else that wants to be here. So she's very, very shrewd and a hard businesswoman, but she made a difference and made the promotion go. And when she did such a good job that, well, I mean, we know with history that, Vince's family wanted to buy the organization and bought it out and wanted the talent that she had in there. And this is where a lot of the superstars and the legends basically cut their teeth into this promotion.
So, all right. Let's move on to. Oh my God! I don't know why it's barking. I have no idea why the dog is barking right now.
Blame it on the rain.
And the celebrity wing, Muhammad Ali, of course, big in WrestleMania 1, but also has more history even before that. We talked about Lonnie Ali. Sal, if I say Muhammad Ali, I think obviously what we think of, I automatically think of WrestleMania 1, but I know he had a legendary career before that, and even in wrestling, not even just boxing,
Yes.
not boxing, in wrestling. So what's the first thing when I say Muhammad Ali in wrestling? What do you think of?
I mean, I just think of his involvement, like you mentioned, in with WrestleMania, and he was pretty influential in WWE, and a lot of people don't realize that, especially the younger generation who obviously probably don't even know who he is. Um, but I like this choice. He is extremely deserving of being in the WWE Hall of Fame, because of his involvement and because of um, storylines that had happened that he was involved in, obviously wouldn't have been a thing without him. So, definitely he deserves to be there, and I'm actually pretty happy that they are finally putting him in after all these years.
It's funny because I honestly thought he was already in. Like I honestly thought I had to double check. I'm
Oh,
like,
really?
he's not in already. Like I actually did a double check. Like 'cause I heard rumors before they made the official announcement. Before the official announcement, I heard Muhammad Ali's going to help him. Like, are we sure he's not in already? Like, you sure this is not just people that didn't do their research? Like, I didn't already. And he's like,
Yeah,
I really assumed he was. Um,
yeah.
go ahead. Do you think?
I kind of remember, I don't know if you guys, you're probably young for this, where Muhammad Ali basically shot off his mouth and wanted to see about a match between a pro wrestler and a boxer.
This is what I was
And
setting you up for. This is what I was setting you up for. Right here. Here you
the
go.
person that basically stepped up place with the great Antonio Inoki. And they had a match that lasted over an hour or so, probably more than that. And it kind of came to a draw as far as who was the better type of athlete. But after that, Muhammad Ali basically kind of understood where the people involved in professional wrestling sports entertainment came from. Is these guys were athletes, no joke. These guys had good cardio. They were basically great, not only just watchable physiques, but really got into the gym and worked to basically get their body into wonderful shape it is. So he had more respect for the pro wrestlers after this situation, and for him to be involved in WrestleMania, that was a big. I don't want to say olive branch, but that was a big thing for Muhammad Ali, that to come into the WrestleMania family and do what he did, and kind of brought more viewers into this, knowing, hey, these guys aren't just clowning around, and no, the pro wrestling is not fake, because you do have real injuries and these people get hurt, and so they have to take care of each other and make sure that doesn't happen. So he gave pro wrestling more respect after his match with Inoki.
And there you go. I know you had to walk off for a second. Any thoughts on Ali or move on? All right. Let's go to the U.S. Express, Barry Windham and Mike Rotunda. Bray's obviously been on the mind of everybody this week because it's a documentary. But this is before this, and a lot of people are saying that Bray should have won in this year. I actually think better off next year, especially for the rumors that the show might be in Minnesota. We haven't heard that officially yet, but it sounds like it's going to be in Minnesota next year. But I think Bray's going to go in next year. But U.S. Express, legendary tag team, legendary people. I think this is the second time for Barry Windham going in. I think he went into the Horseman, if I'm correct.
Yes.
So this is a big deal. They haven't announced who's inducting them yet. And I'm just gonna be honest here. I hope it's Bo. Just be honest with you. I hope it's Bo Dallas. Just based on everything we saw in the documentary. Honestly, he's in front of mind right now in my brain. I think he'd be great at this. Sal, U.S. Express, your thoughts?
Yeah, I mean, another great tag team deserving of this honor. Yeah, as far as in who's inducting, I mean, it seems like that would be the obvious choice. Especially since they didn't make the announcement. I feel like they want it to be a surprise, even though it's not really going to be a surprise because it seems too obvious.
Or they waited until the documentary came out. Or there was
yeah, that's true too. And the surprise at the end, which I already know about because it was all over the internet.
Yeah,
and...
a little bit there, yeah.
But yeah, no, very deserving, and I don't think it has anything to do with what happened last year. So
no, I don't think so either. I mean, they were on WrestleMania 1, for Christ's sake. Like,
because literally they made that announcement, and I'm like, really? But then I thought about it, like, yeah, no, I don't think it has anything to do with that.
I would say for Brian this year would have more to do with that. You know what I mean? Like, I think honestly,
I still have thoughts on that, by the way, but I'll keep that to myself.
well, we'll save it. We'll save it when we watch the documentary. I think if we watch the documentary, you'll understand now from their point of view more. I actually understand more now where they came from now after watching the documentary. We'll get into the total next week. Honey, any thoughts on the U.S. Express?
Is Mike Rotunda in by himself as
No,
IRS?
Not yet. No.
Not yet.
We'll check that. I double checked it myself earlier. Not yet.
That honestly really surprises me. By the way, because I mean, like I think of him in '90s wrestling.
I know, surprising actually, especially surprising. I mean, because it's weird that Wyndham's going in the second time now, and he's going in as a group again. You know,
Yeah.
it's weird.
Yeah. Anyway, I mean, well deserved. They are two of probably the unsung heroes, I think, when you think of that time frame. Like, they're obviously not the big names, but I don't think wrestling would have been the same without them.
And that's a good point, Dad.
Yeah, I think this is a true honor for both the gentlemen. I mean, when you have your first WrestleMania and they were a red hot tag team that basically people didn't think they stood a chance and defeated the champions and became tag team champs and held on to it for a little bit, that's got to show you something that at the time the organization had enough in them, enough faith, enough belief, enough you know of a thing for them to say, okay, let's see what happens, and you guys can carry their belts, and I'm sure you're gonna put fans in the seat that want to come out and see you, and you can't deny that at the time they were both good looking men that women wanted to see in action, and you can't deny that by bringing female fans. I just think, like everyone else, that they should have had this honor years ago. I mean, we were talking first WrestleMania. That's something that kind of started everything going on from there. So
You're
you
right.
got to give credit what's credit due. You had a talent that pulled it off, so give them what they deserve.
It's funny. I was going through some stuff, just getting notes for this, and I ran through I found the first WrestleMania, WrestleMania weekend Hall of Fame class, and it was on WrestleMania 21, and like everybody on that lineup is WrestleMania 1. Like, I'm surprised they don't do something like this as part of that class. Like, I'm very surprised looking back now. You know what I mean? It's weird how that worked, how things worked the way they did. Moving on. I got nothing. I don't have, honestly, this is one of those names. I don't have anything, but it's legendary. I don't have much to talk about here, so I'll make sure Dad talked about this one. Thunderbolt Patterson being inducted by Scott Spears. That's all I got. I got nothing. Sal, you have anything?
Nope.
Honey, anything?
Who's Scott Spears?
That's all yours. Go.
That too.
I was
That could
hoping
be the
you
name of
guys
this
would come up
episode.
with an
Who's
answer
Scott
for
Spears?
Scott Spears. No
There's a
relation
Spears
to
later on. We're talking about later
no
on.
relation to Sean Spears.
Yeah, we'll get to Spears later, but not now.
Or Britney Spears.
I mean, is it just
Britney Spears.
is his entrance going to be just a spotlight on a chair?
Wrong Spears.
Oh, my bad.
Maybe he's got spear parts. I don't know.
Right. So did Patterson. That joke.
Oh, bad.
That was really bad.
Thunderbolt Patterson, great wrestler in the 80s, late 90s. People kind of looked at him as a good partner for like Junkyard Dog. He would be that type of match. Is very focused, very good in the ring, and a lot of people during the time for how hard he worked wanted some sort of belt around his waist. And I believe, and without looking at notes, I believe he did become a tag team champion. And I think it was with Junkyard Dog, but I may be incorrect on that. So if someone has better information, let me know.
Almost like I can look at Wikipedia while you're talking.
Oh, there you go. Hey, sorry, look up Wikipedia.
Okay, good.
So, very, very determined wrestler, and was in the time where a lot of people frowned on colored people being into a spotlight role and to have a championship title. And let's just say that he overcame a lot of prejudice and a lot of hate, and he focused that hate and anger into having good matches in the ring.
I don't know why Mandy's waving. First of all, why is Mandy waving? That's number one.
African American, black. Do not say colored. They're not a box of Crayola.
Number 14 in your box, number 1 in your heart.
That's number one. Okay, number two. So I looked it up on Wikipedia. First of all, it looks like he won the tag team championship with Mr. Wrestling, Tommy Rich, and Tony Atlas.
Oh, yeah, I forgot about Tony Atlas.
That's number one. Number two, and the other thing I have here, and I wrote this sentence. I look at Wikipedia. It says during the early 1970s, he was blacklisted by the NWA for repeated appearances with outlaw promotions. His complaints of institutional racism and attempts to form a wrestling labor union. His dad called him colored.
I apologize. I don't mean to offend.
Okay.
That's something my grandfather would do.
I don't mean to offend.
All right, let's move on. Let's move on to Bill Hanno, inducted by a London Blaze, and we're going to start with Mandy straight off the bat with this one because I know anytime I have a woman induction, I make sure Mandy talks about it first. And actually, it's funny part. We just finished. We're actually about to finish up a thing on the WWE Network about the best women in wrestling history. So, and both of the women were in top of the list, so that's pretty cool. Mandy, go ahead. Do you first?
I think that the best way to think about the impact that Bull Nakano has made is to think of how Rhea Ripley has paid homage to her recently with her makeup, and to realize that we wouldn't have a Rhea Ripley or Raquel Rodriguez or even a Bianca Belair if there wasn't a Bull Nakano. She was really the first bigger woman to make an impact in wrestling. She scared the shit out of me when I was younger. But she paved the way for some of the biggest names that we have today. There would be, like I said, there would be no mommy without Bull. And just from her style in the ring to her style out of the ring, she really truly paved the way. And honestly, I don't know why she hadn't been put in the Hall of Fame already. So well deserved, and better late than never.
I actually agree with you on that sentiment. I'm surprised. What interesting to me when we were watching that the old footage when we were watching that special, was the fact that they used weights for women back in the early 90s. I'm like, what the hell is this? It was so weird.
And like I told you, they did not use it for everyone. They used it for Bull Nakano as a way to prove that she was bigger than everyone else.
Wow.
Because by saying she was over 200 pounds, like, you obviously knew that London Blaze was not close to 200 pounds. So it was just a tactic that they used to make her look bigger and scarier. And I don't think we've really seen that since. I think Nia Jax might be the closest that we've gotten in terms of that, where they never have like outright said her weight, but it's always been obvious that, and they like to bring light to the fact that she's bigger than her opponents.
Didn't they do that for a little while? Because I remember having one of my famous complaints to Blake about how they were announcing her weight for a couple of months, but then nobody else.
Yeah, that's maybe where I got it from. But yeah, it's a really, in the 90s, I can see it being a thing, but now
absolutely not.
Absolutely not.
It was weird to hear it. When we were watching that special, it was weird.
And Nia, she's another great example of someone who wouldn't be a wrestler if it weren't for Bull Nakano. Piper is another one.
Good call. And very good call.
And it's sad that even nowadays it has to be referenced, their size. I think that JR might be the only commentator to still bring that up. Like, he still references that when talking about Willow.
It's weird. It's really strange.
And I think that's just a sign of like
age,
how old fashioned he is.
Mm-hmm.
But I mean, even now to Willow and Sakura, it's cool that, you know, Bull walked so that these women could run.
Sal, any other thoughts?
No, I wasn't totally familiar with her, so I don't have anything.
Fair enough, Dad.
Trailblazer bar none. For a woman, and I hate to use the phrase her size, but I'll use it. Very agile, very quick, very entertaining. Also was able to bring some other talent, like from New Japan, or I believe it was Japan, like the Jumping Bomb Angels and other ones. So that door kind of opened for women from another country to come and, you know, entertain people in the States, which was really good. Another wrestler that I don't think you mentioned is Awesome Kong. Another lady
yeah.
That's a great call. Great call.
Another lady of bigger size, but could move
Oh yeah.
with the grace and elegance and fierceness of
He's so underrated.
okay,
Still to this day. So underrated.
yeah, you know, and it's a shame that you know, how she got treated, but you know, what she's doing now, from what I read, is that she's been acting a part on the Glow series.
Well, the Glow series is not a thing anymore, but I see your point.
Yeah, but and she makes appearances at conventions. So if you happen to see her and she's at a convention you're at,
Met her. She's awesome. She's really awesome. But anyway,
please feel free not only to get her autograph, but a picture, because she loves being with the public and smiling, and all the fans that she has. She just adores them.
All right.
And just one more thing against what you're saying about how she really opened doors for the relationship between Japan and the United States with wrestling. Just think of all of the Japanese female wrestlers that we have on the Mania card, and how that wouldn't be a thing if it weren't for a Bull Nakano.
100%. You're 100% right on that. Yeah, I didn't even think about that point. It's a very good point. All right. Our main eventer of the Hall of Fame in Philadelphia. There is no one else that really expected to be here. I expected more. I'm not gonna lie. I kind of expected more ECW kind of inductees in this class. I'm not gonna lie, but we got the big one, the main one. And what's the funny part here is when you say Paul Heyman, everyone thinks manager. Everyone thinks right now part of the bloodline, but then you realize legend is an understatement. It's an understatement when it comes to career. It's funny because you look up Wikipedia. So I wanted to get the list of world champions because that's a big deal right now. How many world champions he's managed? He debuted in 1986. That's so many generations ago now. Like, it's so many. Like, it's ridiculous how many generations ago that is, and how much time has passed. Like, I listened to a podcast that does 30 years ago, looking back at 30 years ago on the Torch. And they're talking about Paulie dangerously leaving WCW and making ECW. That's happening in 1994. Like, it's so weird. Like he literally could have a different like part of the legacy and spend an hour just talking about that part. Like, it's so crazy when you think of it from that perspective. I did find that list though. He is the manager of a record 6 world champions, which is insane. Big Show, Kurt Angle, Rob Van Dam, CM Punk, Brock Lesnar, and Roman Reigns. That's insane. And that's on top of the fact he's one of the best on the mic of all time, and ECW, and everything else. Okay, can we just throw in there? Didn't he manage? Wasn't it Paulie Danger? Didn't he manage Steve Austin when he was Paulie Danger back in WCW? Like, so you throw that in there too.
Even before that, he had a brief stint in AWA.
Yeah,
he was known for carrying his phone, cordless phone with him.
By the way, I love how that's still carrying out with the cell phones now with Roman Reigns. Like, I love how that's still a thing.
He would use his cordless phones and smash it on opponents.
That's a fucking Zach Morris phone he was using back in the day. And now he's using a iron cell phone. Like,
I mean, he was great on promos on the mic back, AWA days, and that just shows you how he's evolved through the years and on all the organizations he's been involved with.
Sal, I'll throw it to you. Paul Heyman. I think we could all talk for hours, and we're not going to because we have a lot to do today. But yeah,
Yeah. Um, am I the only one that's a little shocked that Roman Reigns is inducting him?
if Paul wants it, Paul gets it. I think in the situation here, I think it's one of those that Paul wants Roman Reigns, so he gets Roman Reigns. And I, mean, I think that's all it is. Like that's what it sounds like to me. I think if I don't know who I was actually we were spending weeks and weeks and weeks trying to figure out who's going to duck Paul Heyman, and then they randomly just throw it out there on Raw. Roman Reigns is ducking him. They just throw it out there randomly.
Right. My only hope is that it doesn't turn into storyline.
Oh no, I agree. Well, you know
And
what?
like Cody
Last
Rhodes
year,
comes out and
you know what?
interrupts.
Last year, to their credit, with Ray getting inducted, they avoided the Dom storyline by having Dom leave, and they went right into doing a normal induction. Like to their credit, they did avoid that last year.
Mhm.
So just to throw that out.
Right.
Okay,
But
okay.
extremely well deserved. I mean, extremely well deserved is an understatement. The things he has done, yeah, he fucked up along the way here and there. We all know that story. We all know those stories because there's more than one.
Who didn't? Honestly.
But yeah, exactly. Nobody's perfect. But he he's a genius. He has a genius mind. He knows the business. He knows what to do. He knows what the people like. Um, his influence on screen relationships, the characters that he helped on screen, I'm sure off screen as well.
I've heard something. I think it was Wade Keller said the best promos have come out working with Paul Heyman behind the scenes. Some of the best promos ever have come working with Paul Heyman.
Yeah,
So.
I could see that. I could see that. And the biggest thing I always say is I'm not knocking, and I'm going to say his name even though we're not allowed to anymore. But Brock Lesnar always comes to mind because I'm not knocking him. He was a great personality, and
Not the
whatever.
rest of the
But
microphone. Not the rest of the mic. Not the best of the mic at all.
right, so he was extremely weak on the microphone, and I feel like if it wasn't for Paul Heyman, the Brock Lesnar that dominated for all those years, I think would have never happened.
Have you ever heard the story that people think that Brock intentionally cut that really bad promo with Vince in the ring to make sure they hired back Paul?
Oh, really?
I heard he intentionally did that really, really bad promo was in the ring. That really, really bad one. That one that was awful. And then the week after Paul's back, that he intentionally threw that promo, knowing that they could not fire him to get Paul back.
I mean, I could see that.
I heard that story. Like,
Paul made Brock look good.
great. Well, Brock's a monster because of Paul Heyman. Like, that's just,
Right.
like,
There you go.
So, honey, I'll throw it to you.
I mean, you guys have pretty much said it all. And to know that he had declined this in the past is crazy to think of. That he didn't think he was worthy of this. And I think that says everything right there.
So out of curiosity, I just looked it up on the Wikipedia. I was just curious. I wanted to see how many awards like he's won and Wrestling Observer Awards. So he won for Best Color Commentator in 1991. That is insane when you just think of that sentence alone. And then he also won for Best Booker for 94 to 97 and 2002 when he was running SmackDown. Like,
okay,
so much. Like there's so many little things like that where it's like, wow. So, well, that
you look at he's got such a creative mind and can come up with different scenarios and stories on the fly. And this guy's just a fountain of knowledge for something like this. And once you tap into him, boom.
You're absolutely 100%. I'm trying to find, I have a quote I cannot find right now that I should have prepared for coming on here that I actually have on I can't find it now, but I had a graphic of Paul Heyman, one of my favorite quotes, and I cannot find it up top of my head. I'll have to find it. But it's I'll put it up on the graphic actually for the show because it's actually a great quote by Paul Heyman that I've had saved in it. I think it's on my old phone, so I got to dig it up in my Dropbox. But it's like he has these moments where it's like, oh, okay, I'm a legend, but I don't want to act like a legend, but I know how great I am, you know?
Mhm.
So like, and I respect it. I kind of respect it being like, yeah, I know I'm good, but I don't want to be honored yet. Like Mandy said, he turned this down many times in the past, and he shouldn't have had to, but he wanted to, which good for him. Yeah, I cannot find that quote.
Where else can you find someone that when he comes on stage and the first things out of his mouth is, "Hello, my name is," and
Oh, yeah.
everyone says it.
Yeah, how has he got "Hello, my name is" over as well as he has? Like crazy. Like,
How has he gotten "Call Roman Reigns" over?
right, exactly.
Yeah, yeah.
Like he didn't have to say, he just pull the phone out, and everyone's like, "Oh."
And then how many times? And then how many times he says it with different inflection? Call Roman Reigns. Call
I
Roman Reigns.
know. He's mastering.
Seriously, he says everything in those 3 words.
His whole attitude is portrayed in one sentence or one facial expression or anything. Like,
Yeah,
It's very reminiscent of a parent where, like we know that we're like,
huh?
call Christian. Call Christian.
100%.
Like, you can say everything.
Especially when things aren't going like, call Christian now.
100%.
Or like, oh, call Christian. Like, what the hell now? Like,
call Christian?
100% right. You're not 100. You're 100% right on that. So I found the quote. I found it. We'll end up with this quote. This is Paul Heyman on his documentary, the I Am Paul Heyman documentary, or the ECW one. I forgot which one it was. The both good documentaries. You cannot achieve success without the risk of failure. If you're not afraid to fail, then you have a chance. But if you are never going to get there unless you risk it. Paul Heyman. Absolutely great quote.
Which is very, very true in the world of sports entertainment, professional wrestling. He's absolutely right on that.
Absolutely. So we'll end the Hall of Fame talk here, and we'll go to NXT Stand and Deliver. And I had it all set up, and now it doesn't want to play. No, I was like, there we go.
Okay.
Theme song for Stand and Deliver is the Wonder Years year of the Vulture. Actually, literally a brand new song that literally got released 2 days ago.
How convenient.
I give them credit at least for having a brand new song. Like I give them that. Like that's pretty cool. Like you don't get that very often. So that's pretty cool. But
or the weekend. Oops.
Yeah, we'll get to there in a few minutes. We'll get to that.
Well, if it's the Wonder Years, is Kevin the lead singer?
I knew it. I knew a joke was coming. All right, so here we go. Now this is gonna be the fun part about having Sal never watches NXT, and Mandy watches it every week with me, and Dad sometimes pays attention, and that my favorite part of watching Dad with wrestling is him not watching the show live, coming in at the end of the show, being like, "Oh," and then walking out of the room. This happens every Monday, especially when he comes home from church, and he looks at the screen. Okay, and then walk out of the room. No context. No context. So funny every Monday, especially. But let's go through this. We're going to try to explain storylines and how the best possibly can. And here we go. We'll start from the kickoff match that literally got added at the last minute. I'm surprised this match is even happening because I thought Joe Casey was actually injured during NXT last night. NXT this week. Because they had a match. It was Almost Femi versus Joe Gacy, and they literally cut away from Joe Gacy. So I thought he was actually legitimately hurt. So maybe he was, and he's not as hurt as they thought he was. But the match is Joe Gacy versus Shawn Spears. I think it's just a way to getting both men on the card, and the whole reason we're here is because Joe Gacy stole Shawn Spears' chair. That is not a lie. That's what happened.
do we know if the straitjacket is going to be involved?
Different storyline, different match.
Okay.
That was a different match. That was Dijak. That wasn't Shawn Spears. Dijak will be on later. Joe Gacy, by the way, legitimately stole Shawn Spears' chair and threw at him from the roof. That is legitimately what happened.
Oh, okay.
Honey, it's as simple as Shawn Spears wins this because nobody seems to care about this anyway.
Yep.
By the way, Sal, you have not experienced Joe Gacy's new entrance where they actually turn the camera upside down during his entrance now.
Oh, why would they do that?
I have no idea. That's kind of nauseating. I'm not gonna lie.
That's why. to fuck with us.
Oh my god, I actually forgot about it during that trip on Tuesday. I'm like, oh yeah, I forgot they do that now. I completely forgot about it.
Well, doesn't he do that one move in the turnbuckles where
Yeah,
he kind of like?
but at least it's a move. It's not turning the whole camera upside down for your entrance. It's so
Well,
dodgy.
I guess they're giving you an insight of his world,
Oh my god,
whatever
it's
that
so bad.
is.
I'm down to that as simple as Sean Spears wins.
Is he
That is
the
how-
perfect 10?
No, he's not. He's the chairman. He's the chairman now.
Oh,
Sherman.
well, and I would assume that it'd be kind of silly for him to lose his first match back.
This is like his first match on PLE. I think he had a couple matches on NXT, but this is his first PLE match.
Oh,
No. No big deal.
clearly I don't care.
It's all good. It's all good. That,
Wow. Yeah, Sean Spears, he's gonna be, Joe Gacy's gonna be this punching bag because Joe Gacy is the NXT punching bag. So why not?
Pretty much. Joe Gacy loves pain. That's what we've learned the last few months. Women's six-women tag match. It is Thea Hale, Fallon Henderson, Kalani Jordan versus JC Jane, Kiana James, and Izzy Dame. I'm not gonna lie, I keep forgetting Izzy Dame is her name. I keep forgetting that. Now they literally named
That's a lot of rhyming names, by the way.
although Izzy Dame, they just named her like 3 weeks ago, so forgive me for forgetting her name most of the time. But this whole reason we're here is because Thea Hale and JC Jane were friends, and Jason Jane said, I was not actually your friend per to chase you, blah 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 blah. I expect Rebound Fallon and Kalani to win. Andy?
Um, I can't remember where I read this, but someone said that one of the greatest things about NXT is that you have so many women involved in storylines that have nothing to do with the title. And this is a great example of that. The title has never been involved here except for when Fallon and Kiana had the tag team belts together.
Yeah, I believe though, didn't Thea actually go for a title match and then it ended up not working? But I had nothing to do with the storyline.
Again, yeah, it had nothing to do with the storyline, and I think this is where NXT really shines. And I think Becky may have said that in an interview recently, because I know I just read that. But these women are examples of you don't need a title to push a storyline through. I feel like this is just a natural conclusion to things that have been happening. And I hope to see one or more of these women on the main roster sooner than later. I think Fallon is ready. So I'm looking forward to the match because I think this is a really good combination of NXT 2.0 and then even this newer class with Kalani and Izzy.
I agree with that, Simon. I agree with that a lot. I think it was last night we were talking. Somebody went on Twitter. They were watching NXT for the first time in a while because it was WrestleMania week, and they figured let's go through the schedule and watch everything. And they like, is there always as many women's matches on NXT? Is there always as many women's matches? Like I think they said 70% of the show last night was women's matches.
Yep.
Wow.
That's a lot. That's a lot of matches. Especially because like there's 2 women's matches on this show, but like 70, and then most of the stuff on the show had nothing to do with titles. It was just
Exactly.
mini feuds or things going on the show and like all these cool storylines going on. So I think this is the time where by the way, honey, have we gotten Thea versus JC yet 1-on-1?
No, we have not.
I thought that we were going to get on this show. I thought that we were going to hear, but I think I like the fact that this is a tag match anyway. I think Thea, Fallon, and Kalani will win. Honey, did you say you were going to win? I forgot what you said.
Yes, I did.
Okay, Dad.
I gotta go with Thea Hall, Fallon Henley, and Kiana Jordan to take this one. I think this particular match showcases all the talent that's involved, and each of these women on their own basically are extraordinary talents to watch and very entertaining. And when Mandy said that Fallon Henley should get called up, I have no doubt she will. But I also believe that Kiana James will probably get called up around the same time because both are I think they're both ready for that take that next step.
What's interesting is I Mandy actually said it perfectly, but I'll just say the same thing I was thinking last night when I was typing this into the card. And I was like, this is literally the future of the women's division happening in a 6-woman tag match. That's what this is.
All right.
By the way, I said
Sorry.
Yeah.
I will say that Fallon and Kiana kind of being together is reminiscent of like a Trish Lita or the Four Horsewomen, where they've kind of just naturally been paired together. And I think that they're going to shadow each other throughout their careers.
So I did say rebound, and I've been sitting on this joke for a very, very long time because I never get a chance to do this joke because Mandy's not here to laugh at it. So I did pull up the video clip that we always joke about. We talk about Thea Hale from the Old Pound Puppy show.
So happy that you're home, and I'll never, ever be alone. Now it's time to have some fun with my perfect person. There's nothing else I'd rather do than be at home with you.
I couldn't read this.
Thea Hale is she is so full of energy. She's like a puppy, and that's why we call her Rebound. And
Thea Hale has one too many Red Bull.
Hi, Patrick.
I love this team. I love this team so much. So that is Patrick coming into the frame. Hi, Patrick. So let's get the team. Let's get to actually match up the people to sell. Actually, they're scissoring now. Let's get to match up the team people that sell actually knows. NXT Tag Team Championship match. It is the Wolf Dogs, Baron Corbin and Braun Breaker. Which I haven't been calling them themselves in a while, but I'm still calling them that until they break up. Versus the unexpected team. I did not expect this. Nathan Frazier and Axiom. There's no way. If you told me before NXT that this is going to be the matchup I said to deliver, I would have believed you at any level to sell. Nathan Frazier and Axiom beat the Good Brothers and the LWO to get to this match.
Okay.
Yeah, they beat those two teams in a triple threat on Tuesday to get to this match.
So that means they're losing, right?
I'm not sure. That's the problem. I don't know because I don't know what to do here because my brain says Frazier and Axiom are winning. Because Braun is already getting that. I think Braun's going to get a big push after Mania up on the main roster.
But then what's Baron Corbin going to do?
Baron Corbin's fine. Baron Corbin down here. I'm not going to lie. Baron Corbin down here. This character, Baron Corbin, might be my favorite character in a long time of his. Because it's I don't give a fuck. I'm a veteran down at NXT and do not give a fuck. I'm going to tell you I don't give a fuck character. And I love it. I absolutely love it. He can lose this match and nobody's going to care. No one's going to care.
Because here's the thing. Braun Breaker signed the contract for SmackDown, number one. Number two is if you split them, Baron's not going to be hurting for an opponent because I see him going against Dijak.
Exactly. Like he has built-in feuds already happening down there because he talks shit to everybody. That's the best part. He has built-in feuds at NXT right now, and it's great. Like I feel like they're fixing what they didn't do with him the last time in NXT. But they're actually making it relevant down there. It's fun. A lot of fun.
He could be the OG of NXT.
It feels like it sometimes. It feels like it. Honey?
I agree. And let's just throw our kid a bone and make his crushes the champions. Also, on a side note, I really wanted to interrupt you before that. I don't know what it says about you and Sal that you were just like, oh, and now they're scissoring. Just so deadpan, like just nothing. Like it was just normal.
Call Roman Reigns.
Boy, I didn't think about that in the moment. I didn't think about it.
We're scissoring like a bunch of lesbians.
It's so funny. Not to watch it.
Got him.
Not ready for that. Holy crap.
Yeah, it was just so nonchalant.
Your pick on this matchup is
Wait, what?
Wolf Dogs, Frazier, and actually, Dad, your pick.
Oh, Dad. Okay.
Dad, your pick.
I gotta go Nation Frazier and Axiom. I think for them having the title to hold and have it is putting a spotlight on them that I think should have been on them a long time ago.
Although what I love is that you know how I always say you know how I always like make fun of the fact that they can combine entrances. I hate it. Like I hate when they combine entrances like that. I
Yeah.
love that they did with Frazier and Axiom because they literally have polar opposite entrances where Axiom is like in slow motion and like all like computery, and Nathan Frazier is running, and they've combined it to the point where like running in slow motion. It is so fucking cool. Like it is such a cool effect that I did not expect to love so much. Like,
Okay.
You know,
so
Nathan
cool.
Frazier and his entrance with the lightning strikes.
Yeah, it's such a cool entrance, but I didn't realize he's running in slow motion. It's just a really cool effect. Like I did not expect it. Really cool to watch.
like the $6 million man.
Yeah. Okay, we'll move on. We have the North American Championship. It is Obafemi versus Dijak versus Josh Briggs. This is a big beady man clapping meat in this match. You laugh, but that's exactly what this is. Like literally three men that are going to be the shit at each other. It's going to be so much fun to watch.
Slapfest galore.
Oh my god! So Sal, you haven't been thoroughly introduced to Obafemi yet. Obafemi
No, I have not.
is a big black guy who is very agile and still it should be green as fuck, but he's learning really quick. I think this is what his only like his 11th or 12th match, honey, something like that.
Yeah.
He's like his 12th match, period. Not PLE, 12th match. And he's been champion for most of his time on television. But the cool part,
bad.
and also he's got charisma. Like he's got that charisma.
Mm.
And you pay attention to him the minute he gets in the ring. Like you're paying attention to him, which is really cool. Really, really cool. And then Dijak, they're letting Dijak. I don't know if you follow Dijak on Twitter, Sal, at all.
Mm-hmm.
They're letting him be that guy on Twitter on television.
Okay.
And him on Twitter is one of the funniest follows on social media.
Okay.
That
We're talking about people that
character?
don't give a fuck.
Yes, he does not give a fuck. He doesn't care. He does not give two shits on Twitter at all. He doesn't care about it. He'll say anything that comes to his mind, no matter what, even if it has to do with his own company. He doesn't care.
He just loves to go out of his way to offend people.
Actually, like I was it 2 weeks ago. 2 weeks ago on the show, Deadpan. Josh Briggs falls Dijak's shaft. Deadpan, and then Dijak looks at him like, "But I'm not black."
No. He goes, you do know I'm white, right?
I'm white, right? Josh Briggs almost cracked up. Like it was one of those moments like deadpan humor where because the big Dijak talks, it's all deadpan. But you have to go around the deadpan to get the humor. And that's my favorite kind of humor anyway. So watching him lines like that is so funny.
So is he Irwin White?
Irwin?
Your bad jokes today. Your jokes today are awful.
Wait, did you say Irwin?
I think he meant Kerwin, but he
Kerwin.
But anyway, Josh Briggs was part of Brooks and Dunn, and now he's the instructions by JBL.
Brooks and where's Reba?
Fallon's in the 6-woman tag.
Yeah,
earlier.
Reba's over with Rebound.
Reba's
over with Rebound earlier. So, honey, I'm going to throw it to you on this match why she was calling us.
What is the match again? It's Dijak. Wait, is Dijak involved in this match?
Yes, it's over.
Yes.
Dijak I feel like I have to play this for you, and it's usually for me.
Oops. Blake has lost track of the conversation.
Here's the difference. Here's the difference between Blake and Mandy is Mandy's working right now.
Absolutely, you're not wrong. But I feel like I had to play that. Continue.
I think Oba Femi is gonna win only because he's the one that's got something to lose. Like Brooks or Dunn or whichever one he is, like they're building him up to be a star. Dijak, he's like Baron Corbin, where he can literally feud with anyone because he's pissed everyone off.
Yeah.
So
I think the last PLE, his first PLE win in like 2 years. The last PLE, he never wins PLEs, but he's always there. Like we always pay attention to him.
Yeah, but I think if they want to make Oba Femi this giant, this feared man, he needs the win. However, I will say that he's funny as hell because he would face Joe Gacy last night, and Sean Spears like attacked him and hit him with a chair, or hit Joe Gacy with a chair to like give him a receipt. And Obafemi grabs Joe Gacy, looks at Sean Spears, he goes, "He's mine," and then drags him to the ring.
Fantastic. And the crowd, by the way, at the NXT arena is like in love with Obafemi. They're like in love with him. Like everything he says, they have something to respond. Like it's absolutely crazy how much in love with him they are there. Dad?
Yeah, I don't see Obafemi losing this match. No way, shape, or form. I mean, this is a guy that has burst onto the scene. Not quite as big as Omos, but in a big man.
Actually a good wrestler.
Yeah, big man. Who moves very quick, very agile.
He's what Vince wanted almost to be. He's what he wanted.
Yes,
Vince
basically,
to be.
you're correct. And is good with his promo, where basically when you're talking to him and he's not wrestling, he's this happy-go-lucky natured guy. But the minute,
But I like it that you're paying attention to everything he says, though. You're paying attention to every word.
yeah, because I mean that eye contact he has with you and his facial expression, basically, even though he's speaking quietly, that deep down inside he can't wait basically to get in the ring and kick some ass.
Yeah,
and that's exactly what he does.
He's a quiet killer, which we don't get often anymore, which I love. I'm going to agree also Obafemi wins. And I guess, like I joke, Dijak loses all the time. It doesn't matter. So, like, it doesn't matter.
That's why I say he and Baron Corbin can have a match.
They did. And I think Baron Corbin won that match, ironically. I think Corbin won that match. Okay. Laya Valkyria defending the NXT Women's Championship against a now strangely heel Roxanne Perez. Well, the funny part is Roxanne Perez legitimately is the heel now. Like they're actually driving into people not liking her anymore. And I got to say that this week they were on the Supernova session. That might be their best promos the two of them had in a very long time. It was actually fun, even though the oh crap, what the hell is the name of that group?
Metaphor.
Thank you, Metaphor. Even though Metaphor stole the show for me. So Sal, set this up. So Metaphor. The Metaphor has their group, has their thing. They're doing Supernova sessions, and they have this whole thing behind them, and they set up Lila and Roxanne to do their thing. But they're watching in the background. They're missing popcorn at this point. Like they're in the background watching this and reacting like we are at home. Like they say something like, "Oh."
It's kind of like when MSK and Beth Phoenix.
Oh, yes, absolutely. Perfect idea. Perfect. Ooh, they got popcorn. Actual popcorn for that one. Oh, it was entertaining as hell to watch them in the background. Oh, and then having Noam sing Roxanne was also hysterical. But I'm not gonna lie, I have a weird feeling to put the belt back on Roxanne because Lyra's getting called up as a favorite of Becky. I have a weird feeling of what's happening here, which is why they sped to this. I feel like they sped to this match and they sped to this heel turn to get to this to put the belt back on Roxanne. Han, what do you think?
I don't want to see the belt on Roxanne again. Like, is she talented? Yes. Is she the next big star? I don't think so. I think she's got a lot to learn still. Like, I think I think
that's why you put the belt back on here and send Lyra up to the main roster. You keep Roxanne down here.
Yeah, but you have women who haven't held the belt yet that are very deserving, like a Fallon Henley, like a Kiana James.
Actually, you know what you do? You put the belt on Roxanne, you send Lyra up, and then you have her feud with that whole like trio we had earlier.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Thea Fallon and Kiani, you have them like feud with them, and then you put the belt on one of them, and maybe the next PLA.
But I also think now is maybe time for Roxanne to prove that she can wrestle or have a storyline without a title. I think that all of these other women have had to do this and have proven themselves, but yet she always kind of crawls her way into a title storyline. And that may be because she's Booker T's golden child, and I'm also this whole like, it seems like she's like Bailey's recycled like secondhand storylines.
I like that. I like that, actually. I like
but
that.
it's just like, I don't need my heroes anymore. Like,
She actually
blah,
said
blah,
that sentence,
blah.
by the way, to Natalia on NXT on Tuesday. That accent is actually said.
What a loser.
Yeah, I am not sold on Roxanne quite yet. I think she's got a lot to learn, especially on the mic, and that's where I think her age is definitely showing.
I agree. I can agree with that. By the way, there's two things I just thought about. Was it supposed to be Cora Jade's spot before she got hurt?
Honestly, I think it probably has, and I think that's why Cora Jade's inserting herself on Twitter.
I just thought about it. Like Cora Jade, I think was supposed to be in this spot. Like I think it was supposed to be, and then she got hurt.
Yeah.
And then the other thing I'll throw in there, what happened to Lyra's like partner stalker lesbian girlfriend thing? What happened to that? Like what happened to her? Was she even on the show last night? Like
she was, but it wasn't in that role.
Okay, I was just thinking about that, like watching the show last night. Like it was weird. I think that was like a massive part of her storyline for the last like 4 months, and then we have the Stand Deliver match, and she's not even like in her corner. It's weird.
What's the name of the wrestler, the wannabe that wants to?
I can't think of her name. What was her name, honey? I don't remember her name.
Tatum Paxley.
Tatum Paxley. Thank you.
Thank you.
I probably some of these names seem like so made up sometimes. So it's like these names. I know where Sal stands. Where he doesn't want Roxanne to win the belt again. We know that stands already. Dad, where do you stand?
I see Roxanne winning the belt, but it's going to be help with Tatum Paxley, who inadvertently costs Lyra the belt, and then that starts a feud. So if you want to do that before Lyra gets called up, that's the way to kind of like end the storyline between the two right there.
Fair enough. Okay, well, 2 more matches here. Big ones, the big main events of NXT Stand Deliver. NXT Championship match, not in the main event of this show. They made that very clear on Tuesday. This is not the main event of the show. It is Ilya Dragunov defending against Tony D'Angelo. Yep, that is happening.
Dragunov these nuts.
Yes, Sal.
Is this like a guarantee for Tony D'Angelo?
I don't know. That's exactly where I was going to go with this. I'm not 100% sure, especially based on what we saw on Tuesday. Tony D'Angelo has turned heel, kind of. I think he was always been a heel. I was feeling he's always been a heel, but the crowd didn't want to hate him. One of those things. Like I think he's always been a heel, but now he's actually emphasizing more on the mafia thing and the more Italian, like stereotypical stuff, which I don't mind it. Except I didn't like the segment that ended all this on Tuesday. Like I wasn't a fan of the segment that ended it, where he went. They brought up because the whole thing has been we have Tony D's restaurant, and we usually do the segment at the restaurant. Well, apparently Dragunov invited himself to the restaurant without an invitation, and that pissed off D'Angelo. So D'Angelo invited him to a different place. Ended up being some warehouse. Apparently they kill people at. I don't know. I think that's what it was. I think it was supposed to be. I thought the segment was kind of dumb. Personally, I'd love some people really praise it. I did not like it personally. But that's where we are now. Tony D'Angelo versus Ilya Dragunov. Now, I've heard mixed things about Dragunov lately. I've heard he's ready to get called up tomorrow. And then I've heard they don't have any plans for him, so they're going to keep him down here a little longer. I think depending on what you do in the Gunther Stanley match, we'll get to it in a little bit, will depend on what they do with Dragunov. I think Dragunov and Gunther should be a feud in the future.
That's what I was thinking.
So I don't know, honey. Where do you stand on Dragunov D'Angelo? Is there a title change incoming?
First and foremost, I have to say it. Dragunov D's nuts.
There it is. Thank you. By the way, if you're wondering, CJ says that every time we say Dragunov, every solitary time.
I don't know.
I think of
It's not good.
I was gonna say I think of beef stroganoff when I hear his name, but that's a different story.
I'm kind of torn with this one. I think it could go either way.
I don't know.
Flip a coin.
tough one. It's a tough one, isn't it? Like, I don't know what to do here. Like, my brain tells me D'Angelo because they always seem to do title changes on Stand and Deliver. They always seem to do title changes here, but it's not the main event, which makes it even more like they're going to take a title off Dragunov. Like, it just sure feels like it, you know? I think I'm going to lean for D'Angelo winning. I think that's where I'm going to lean, but I'm not 100% sure. Dad, what are you leaning?
I'm gonna go with Tony D. He's the likable hero, and he's
Not in this storyline.
making
Not in this storyline.
well, but he's making Dragunov look like that he doesn't want to have interaction with Tony and the family until basically he has no choice. So I mean, I gotta go with Tony D winning the championship over Ilya, and then that gives him pause to kind of reflect and think about his family and see if he wants to go back and visit his family and kind of recoup and get his head straight, whatever.
By the way, I love the fact you call him a likable bad guy. He legitimately killed one of his faction members by throwing him into the river. That legitimately happened. Storyline, like that happened. Like
He was giving his friend a shower.
he killed off the character. He legitimately killed off a character. Okay, main event, and it is, and they said there must be a winner.
Yeah.
I guess you're pretty cute. Trick Williams, Carmelo Hayes. This is gonna be great. It's gonna be great. They officially, by the way, said I didn't even think about this. They were the first two black men to main event a PLE 1-on-1.
Really?
Yeah, it's that last night. I'm like, that's a big deal.
Wait, including WWE?
I'm gonna look this up. I think it might be NXT for sure. I know NXT for sure. I'm not
right.
NXT for sure. I will double check this, but it was either way. NXT is still a big deal. You know what I mean? A very big deal in NXT. They've been making such a big deal out of this. Where they even last week, if you haven't seen it, they did a whole thing with them where they did a 3-part thing throughout the show, and they interviewed main roster members about this matchup. That's how big of a deal this match is in NXT. Where they even brought in Ciampa and Gargano, which is the other feud people compare this to, and they said this is one of the biggest feuds since us. I'm like, wow, that says so much to me as a viewer. Trick's winning. Trick has to win this, especially in the main event. He's got to win. Whoop that Trick, honey.
Whoop that Trick.
Dad?
Eat.
Okay, we're not there yet. We're not there yet. Got there.
I gotta go with Trick only because I believe Carmelo is on the main roster, and I think they just
you're right. I keep forgetting that. I keep forgetting it's right. Main roster,
and I think they're just waiting to pull the trigger, and this would be a great time to do it.
I keep forgetting he is on the main roster. Sal?
I was just gonna say Carmelo Hayes already signed a contract with Raw or whatever it was. I can't remember which one.
It's SmackDown.
To be completely honest with you, Trick losing would completely steamroll all the momentum that he's been building lately. So I think the smartest thing would be to have Trick Williams win this and send off Carmelo Hayes to the main roster in proper fashion.
What's interesting here, I saw the picture went up yesterday, right before NXT started, of Trick wearing an Eagles jersey. And we're in Philly.
Well, that gives it away.
Like, well, WWE didn't put the photo up. This went up like Wrestling put it up. Wrestling put the photo up. But like, it was so pretty cool. Like, this is gonna be fun to watch him. His reaction in Philly is gonna be so much fun. Like, it's gonna be such a great reaction. It's gonna be such a great main event. And that is Stand and Deliver. Let's get WrestleMania XL, as they're calling it. It is WrestleMania 40, and for what is it, the third, fourth year in a row now? We have the weekend at the theme music of WrestleMania.
Can we talk about the stage?
Oh, okay. So, funny part is, when we started the show, I was going to give you shit. So you didn't watch Raw this week because I'm stuck to Patrick. I was going to give you shit for it. they're revealing the stage on Thursday tomorrow when we're recording it. They're going to reveal the stage tomorrow. So I have a feeling what you saw is not the full stage.
Okay.
I have a weird feeling because I think that was just like they're building the stage. They're building because Sal texts me, he's like, the stage is so small.
Are they going to reveal the Statue of Liberty or the Liberty, though?
Maybe the Liberty Bell. I don't think they're gonna. Well, it's funny part is I think this to my friend Josh. I'm like, you know what they have to do? They have to have Triple H be the first person out there to welcome us to WrestleMania, so they can put that in the montages now for the next like 20 years. So they can't play the Vince clip anymore. That's what they have to do.
Who?
Exactly.
Who for the past 20 years?
That's my point. That's my point.
And then Triple H rings the bell.
Oh yeah, perfect. There you go. There we go. It is WrestleMania 40. We have 2 nights. The whole card is officially announced on the nights it's supposed to be. I like the fact that Triple H put this out there right before Raw started. By the way, he put the entire lineup up. So thank you for that. I appreciate that. So we will go through it. We'll start at night 1, and we'll start from the bottom to the top. The last match that was the last 2 matches officially announced officially on night 1, which made me laugh. 2 last matches that were announced. Is the LWO Rey Mysterio and Dragon Lee, newest member of the LWO. I don't see this sitting well, by the way, when we get back after Mania with Carlito. I don't see this sitting well. Versus Santos Escobar and representing the Judgment Day for some reason, Dominic Mysterio.
Well, he ain't doing anything else, that's for sure.
Funny part about this to me was we saw this setup at our Milwaukee show, and we thought it was at the throwaway thing because Dom was going to be in a dark match at our show. So we thought it was a throwaway thing. We thought it was going to lead to a Mania match. We realized that what happened at our show. But at least they had something to say. Hey, we set this up at least out of nowhere. We just set it up. Honey, I'll start with you. Your thoughts on this match and who wins?
Viva La Raza, number 1.
Okay.
Number 2, Ray doesn't have that many matches left in him for WrestleMania, so I think you've got to give this to him.
Fair enough. I like the fact that Ray, by the way, 2 matches, 2 years in a row, we get to wrestle the son on WrestleMania. 2 years in a row. And 2 completely different matches. So that's pretty cool. Sal?
I don't know if you saw on some sort of social media, but I found it very interesting that Ray and his daughter, well, his daughter was filming a TikTok or something with Ray in it, and he made 0 attempts to cover his face. I thought that was very interesting.
If you actually look at his social media, his actual personal social media, Ray, he doesn't cover his face on social media. He doesn't.
Oh, really?
He never does. He never does.
Oh.
That's not that big of a deal anymore. He never does.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, so I know what you're trying to say, but he never does on his actual social media. So,
oh, okay.
He just comes into the ring masks.
Yeah, like he's to the point where I think he's like, whatever, you're here. If you're following me on Instagram, you know what I look like. You know what I mean? I think he's at that point.
Yeah. Okay, then.
Oh.
Well, then I agree with Mandy, and I think they're winning.
I just wanted to say that. I had a feeling where you were going with that, but I'm like, wait, I'm just gonna watch this a little bit for you because I know what you're saying. I know where you're going with this. Dad.
My heart wants to go with Ray and Dragon Lee, but the question mark to this whole match is Andrade.
It's true. Andrade is aligning us with Dom now.
I mean, Dom gave an offer for him to do this and come join the Judgment Day.
Oh, yeah. No, you missed out on Monday. So you missed that. Andrade apparently is aligned with Dom and may join the Judgment Day. Like, it's weird. I don't know what that came from. I got to know on Monday.
Here's the thing. Dom is basically making this offer, and I don't think it sat well with Damian Priest.
Anybody else?
And everything, including Mommy.
Because really interesting story with Dom going on right now. That's really interesting going on right now.
So now you've got Dom that's making the side deal, but my whole thing is Andrade's not going to be comfortable because Andrade wants to take over.
Yeah, it's interesting. Yeah, you're right. Absolutely.
So if Ray and Dragon Lee win the match, I think it's because Andrade has something to do with the outcome.
Okay. The funny part is, it's like Mandy had a point. Mandy had a very valid point that Ray doesn't have many matches left. Where if Ray had more matches left in his system, that I'd say Dom wins this match. because Dom doesn't win many matches, and I think saying Dominic won a match at WrestleMania is a big deal. That on the record one time would be really freaking cool for him. I just don't. This is not going to be the year to do it. This is not going to be the year. Ray and Dragon Lee continue on, but I do love the Andrade Dom Judgment Day storyline thing. It's going to be really intriguing TV for the next few weeks on Raw. It's going to be very interesting.
Because my thing is, if Andrade screws this up, and Damian and Finn don't like what Dominic did, then maybe down the road that Dominic is the one who gets booted out of the Judgment Day.
It's interesting. I'm intrigued by how things are going to go. All right, next up, we have Damage Control, Dakota Kai, and the Kabuki Warriors, Asuka and Kairi Sane versus Bianca Belair, Naomi, and Jade Cargill. Wow. We're here. And I said this to Mandy that I read online, that if you told me 2 months ago, maybe the end of 2023, that Bianca Belair would be tagging with a woman who was the TNA Knockout Champion when this year started, and a woman who was on the AEW roster when this year started, I would never believe you. But here we are, 3 strong black women facing off against Damage Control. There is no way in my mind that those 3 can lose this match. There's no way Belair, Cargill, and Naomi can lose this match. Honey?
I agree. And I think it'll just be the beginning of the downfall of Damage Control. I think that they've kind of served their purpose, and I think that there's really nothing more for them.
Sal?
Yeah, I agree. I was just thinking, I mean, I feel like Damage Control needs to just split at this point, because there's really no need for them, and this would be the perfect opportunity for the beginning of that. So, and plus, I'm assuming they want Jade to be a strong person in that division, and giving her a big fat loss on WrestleMania probably would not help that cause.
Absolutely.
So I would assume that those 3 are going to win.
And Mandy actually asked me this when they announced this on Friday. I'm surprised the tag team titles aren't on the line on this show. Well, Asuka's hurt. Asuka's recovering from an injury. So I have a feeling they made this match because Jade may not be ready for one-on-one competition, and Asuka's hurt. So you might as well combine everything and make it into a big 6-woman tag. You might as well, just do it, and then we'll move on and do other things. Like I expect like Bianca versus Jade to happen eventually. Like I can almost see them doing that at next year's Mania. Like Bianca versus Jade next year.
I would love that match.
Like I think if you do a full year storyline to get to that, that's worth it. Like that would be so worth it and so cool. And you can come back to this match saying this is where I started. Like that would be so awesome. Dad, go.
Yeah, I think Bianca and Jade and Naomi are victorious in this match, but I think because of how victorious they are, that somewhere down the road you're going to have a championship match with Jade, and I like to say Naomi, but I think they're going to team her up with Bianca, and then they win the tag straps, and then somewhere down the line, because you got 2 dominant females, it's going to come to a head where Jade and Bianca clash.
I think them winning the tag belt, I love that idea, only because it would be awesome for storyline purposes. But I don't want them to do it right away. I think it'd be really cool for story. You do it with the men 1,000 times. You might as well do it with the women. You might as well. You did it. It's such a cliche men's storyline. You might as well give it to the women.
Because the storyline that you can use is, okay, right now I'm temporary happy because I got the tag straps, but what I really want is I want the woman's title.
100% agree with you. 100%. Hey, honey, I know you're not a huge on non-tag teams winning tag belts, but if this is the storyline you're doing, because it's such a cliche men's storyline, how do you feel about them doing that if they did it?
I think I would be okay with that. My issue is when it just looks like they pulled 2 names out of a hat and put them together.
Okay, fair enough. At least here they have history. They have history. So
like Brooks and Dunn.
The last week they had tag team. At least they were a team. At least they were a team for like 2 years before they broke up. All right, let's move on. We have Jey Uso versus Jimmy Uso. Yeet versus no Yeet. Not a joke, that is a thing. By the way, I did not realize how over Yeet was until we're waiting into SmackDown, and outside, but not even that. Everyone's just yelling Yeet. outside while we're waiting to get in the building. Like for the entire time we're outside, the people are going yeet, yeet, yeet. It was ridiculous how over it was almost as more. It was nuts outside. But
Yeet has
It was
replaced
cute.
what?
It was cute for like a month and a half. Now it's just old.
and until you're in the so here's the problem: when you're in the building for it, it's a whole different experience. Like it was crazy to be in the building for the Yeet stuff. It was nuts. But here we are. The third time ever we have actual legitimate brothers having a one-on-one match at WrestleMania. By the way, I love the fact that everybody put that completely throughout the kayfabe of Undertaker and Kane. I love the fact that they did that. It made me laugh really hard the first time they said that.
The
Kind of
disrespect.
like the match,
Throughout the kayfabe completely. I thought that was great. But for
kind of
those
like
who,
Owen and Bret Hart.
Owen and Brett and Matt and Jeff Hardy.
Yep.
This is the third match officially at Mania one-on-one brothers. But they said that. Like Michael Cole threw it out there like a month ago. Like a couple weeks ago now. And then someone online like, wait, did they just completely squash the kayfabe of Taker and Kane? Out of nowhere. That cracked me up. So here we are. Jay versus Jimmy.
Maybe they're not allowed to use Kane's name because of Blue Kane.
No, Blue Kane. By the way, Blue Kane is now Blue Paint. I noticed that recently. That changed out of nowhere.
Wait, what? Did you get to
Yeah, let's follow up on that because this is that show after dropped on Wednesday. So Blue Kane out of nowhere, because we were talking about this, how the hell they're getting away with this, how they're getting away with this, how they're getting
Right.
the guy
Correct.
dressed, for those who missed it, it's a guy dressed as Kane that had the power of snow instead of fire. That's literally the whole character.
Right.
And
And
John elegantly explained to us. And John elegantly explained to us.
And wears a blue
somewhere
cane
between-
outfit.
Well, somewhere between when we recorded the show last week
Right.
to this weekend, I have a feeling WWE lawyers may have looked at cards and sort Blue Cane because somewhere between Thursday and Sunday is now Blue Pain. Somewhere. I don't know what happened.
Wow.
Somewhere it changed.
No way.
So that happened like somewhere over the weekend. Like,
That's amazing.
oh yeah, that happened. There's a follow up on that from the last show.
Wow.
But anyway, this match. Sal, I'll start with you. Jimmy, who wins?
I would also just want to make a quick mention that isn't it weird that officially now Jey Uso has more tag team championships than Jimmy?
I noticed
I just
that
think
too.
that's weird.
I noticed that too.
I don't know, that's just weird to me.
Very funny.
I think in all seriousness, Jimmy Uso needs to win this match because I feel like Jay has had the better success being separate from him. And I feel like he's been doing so well as a singles competitor that I think Jimmy needs this victory more.
Actually, I'm going to throw out my prediction since you said that. I think night one is where we're going to show how strong the bloodline is. And I'll get to that when we get to the main event. And that means Jimmy's going to win this match. Emphasize how strong the bloodline is. And how Solo out there helping him win. And that means Jimmy beats Jay. So like that's something like I'm throwing it out there as something in my back of my brain. Like I said, we'll get more into that in the main event of night one. But that's where I'm leaning right now. So honey, where do you stand?
I think Jay deserves it. I think he's put in the work. I think that if Jimmy does get it, it's not going to be clean. So.
Okay. That.
I gotta go with Jay, but then I want to see if they play the angle where now because he's won, he's gonna extend his hand and want to shake and try to kind of like bring the brothers back together, or is there still going to be friction within the family?
Good point. Good point. By the way, I love the whole storyline of this match is fine. We're opposite ends, but at the same time, this is a dream match for both of us. We get to fight each other at WrestleMania. Like, I love the fact that they said that because that's such a big deal that they threw that into the story.
I mean, that's
really cool
kind of like with the storyline with Bret and Owen. At first, they didn't want to do the brothers' storyline against each other because basically of how many people had their favorite, Brett or Owen. Then when they did do it, I think it kind of came with mixed reviews, but the match was great. So hopefully this is going to be the same thing. The match is going to be great. You're going to have each side rooting for their favorite, and let's see what happens.
By the way, I love the fact that it's been 2 months of this, and Dad, for some reason, didn't take this opportunity to just say yeet and move on. I'm very surprised. I am very surprised.
Yeet, y'all, my dog.
All right, let's get to the undisputed WWE Tag Team Championship ladder match. He added a stipulation on Monday that the match will not end until both sets of titles are taken down off the top from the ladder. I love the fact that they said that because it goes with all the people saying they're going to split the belts. That would be funny.
Finally.
Oh, no, you know what would be hysterical? Is if they don't split the belts and they put them under the fuck with everybody. That would be funny to me. I'm sorry.
I can see that happening.
I don't think they will, but I think it'd be funny as hell if they did it.
So, are we?
Remember the match on first, and then we'll throw it to you. Here's the match.
Okay.
It's the Judgment Day. Finn Balor and Damian Priest versus DIY, Johnny Gargano and Tommaso Ciampa. The Awesome Truth, Miz and R-Truth. Didn't expect that, but it's also nice to see R-Truth here. The New Day, Kofi Kingston and Xavier Woods. 8-Town Down Under, Austin Theory and Grayson Waller right now. Apparently, they may not be in this match after all. I don't know anything. And New Chat Republic, Pete Dunne and Tyler Bate. There's a rumor going around right now that 8-Town Down Under, Theory and Brawler may not be in this match after all. But I haven't heard any follow-up on that as of this recording. So I don't know anything else but that.
Is that because of injury or other issues?
I don't know. That's the problem. I don't know where this came from.
Okay.
It was all over the place. It was all over the place on Monday. I don't know where it came from. And then it got pushed away because of the Bray Doc and CM Punk being on Aaron Hawani's show. So there's been no follow-up since. So I don't know more details as of now. So Dad, what were you gonna say?
I gotta say, because with this match, are they just gonna make it back to one belt?
I think we're splitting the belts up. I have a feeling we're splitting the belts up because there's enough tag teams on both shows to warrant tag championships on both.
I just
going on here.
I wasn't sure that basically they would morph it into one belt.
I think they might be splitting them up. And Sal's been asking for a year. I have a feeling they're going to be splitting them up.
To me, splitting them up would be a good idea because you got a lot of tag team talent on both Raw and SmackDown. So
I agree. So with that being said, Sal, you were saying they want to split them up. Who's leaving with the belts?
Yeah, so ever since they made that announcement that, both titles have to be pulled, it's pretty obvious they're going in that direction because I feel like they wouldn't have said that. That being said, I feel like R-Truth and Miz should win, but R-Truth should pull the SmackDown title because they're not on SmackDown, so I think that'd be kind of funny.
That'd be hysterical. I'm not gonna lie, that'd be pretty funny.
And I feel like DIY needs a little momentum, so DIY wins the other tag title.
It's funny. I was actually thinking about DIY winning, and I'm like, is that also they're leading to R-Truth finally winning a Mania match? I'm like, what? You're saying winning the SmackDown belt? Then that actually makes sense. That it actually would work. You know what I mean? Because DIY win, and also Truth will still win, and then everybody's happy. Like everybody's happy. Triple H gets his boys to win the tag belts finally, and the crowd gets R-Truth finally winning a Mania match all at the same time. So I've seen
and then he shows up to Raw. He shows up to work on Raw with SmackDown tag titles, and just continue that little thing he does.
I know it's funny. I wasn't even thinking about it. That's great. I'm totally feeling it. I love that idea so much. Like I love it. Mandy, I'll throw it to you.
Make it 3.
Make it 3. Look at that. So you just threw out an idea. That's great. Look at you. Well done. Are you doing all 4 of us, or what are you thinking here? That you.
He's deep in thought.
Yes. Okay. I'm gonna go off the chart, and I'm gonna say.
Really? No way! I don't believe it.
Yeah,
I don't
really.
believe it.
Yeet, my man. I'm
gonna say Mark is going off on a tangent.
The New Day wins 1 set of straps.
Who?
The New Day.
Okay.
New Day.
Fair enough. At least that's a valid answer. At least that's valid.
And then for the other set,
Blue Cane and Red Cane.
I'm going to go with New Catch Republic, Pete Dunne and Tyler Bate.
Okay, all right. I can see that. I can totally see them see that. It's actually cool they have a name by the way now. I like the fact they have a name.
A New Catch Republic. There you go.
It took a little bit to get used to because they were British Strong Style for so long. But like, I like
Yeah.
they have a name. All right. Intercontinental Championship match. I have it up in the air about this one since they announced it. It is Gunther
Good morning. How are
taking
you?
on. It is Gunther taking on Sami Zayn for the Intercontinental Championship. Honey, I'm gonna throw it to you first.
All right, I was torn about it until they did the package for Sammy on Monday with Chad Gable, where Sammy was just like, I'm scared that I won't deliver. I'm scared that, I'm going to disappoint my wife again. I'm going to disappoint my child like you did.
By the way, apparently somebody pulled that. Apparently that's the speech straight from Rocky 3.
Oh.
That's straight from Rocky 3.
Yes. Yes.
I was convinced CM Punk still has not seen. Continue.
So I think that Sammy is going to get it. I think Sammy deserves it. However, I do think that it is going to lead to a Sammy Gable feud down the road.
I love that idea. I have a feeling they gotta get this belt off Gunther to get him to be a main eventer. Gunther got to get to the main event now. He deserves it. He's earned it. And like I can see him main eventing one of these international shows now that he can go international. Because apparently, as of March, he can officially now fly international again. Now that his visa is official. Like if everything's official now, he can officially fly out of the country again. Which is why he has been doing international shows for the last 6 months because of his visa issues. Now those have been fixed. That we're in April, and he can fly out of the country. And now with all this international schedule we're getting, I want him to main event one of these shows, one of these big international shows we're getting. So I see Sami Zayn winning, but I do like the idea of Chad Gable and Sammy down the road, one-on-one for the title. Even having a nice feud. I think a nice feud with them would be fun because Chad hasn't been in a real feud outside of Gunther in a while. And Sammy deserves a title reign like this. I think it'd be a lot of fun to have Sammy versus Chad for a while. I liked the serious Chad Gable we've been getting the last couple of weeks. Where like the Alpha Academy guys are doing their own thing, and he's been serious with Sammy.
Yep.
And I like that a lot. So you may want me over on this one, having Sammy win this title and ending Gunther's ridiculously insane reign. But unlike Roman, at least he's been defending his title. That
I gotta go with Sammy on this one only because the man's got determination, heart, and I think Gunther is gonna overlook Sammy and Sammy's gonna win. And then like Mandy has said and you have said, this will set and turn the wheels of motion for having a fallout with Chad, and then down the road, Chad's gonna challenge Sammy for the belt because basically he can't live with Sammy knocking off Gunther, and it should have been him.
that is a storyline that is sitting there just waiting to do. That is waiting for them to be like, this is the storyline we're doing. By the way,
or I can see Gable saying, you wouldn't have done it without me.
Also true. By the way,
There you go.
when this match happens on, oh my God, that's weird. When this match happens Saturday, Gunther's gonna be at 666 days.
See, 666.
666 on Saturday. I'm not even joking because he's a 663 today.
Okay, so actually, I'm gonna change my prediction, and Kane is going to win.
Blue or red? Which one? No.
Yes.
Blue Kane.
Purple Kane.
Purple Kane. There you go. Merge them together. Sal had to take a call.
Rebound Kane.
When he comes back, I'll ask him his pick on this one. He had to take a phone call. So okay.
So here's the thing: am I not too far fetched that basically with Gunther losing a belt to Sammy, that would put him in contention for the main strap, like against
it's almost like I just said that a minute ago.
No, but I mean, instead of like going for like the Roman title.
I know, but my point is, my whole point I just said was,
okay.
He's going to be a main eventer after this, meaning title, meaning whatever the world title is that he's on, and he's on Raw.
Right.
I mean, yeah, go for the Raw title. Whoever wins the title after this weekend.
Right. But I see him going more the Seth way than going.
Well, it depends on who was the champion. We'll get to that when we get to night two. Real fast. Okay, next matchup. Women's World Championship. It is Rhea Ripley versus Becky Lynch. So a friend of mine texted me and said, "What are my predictions on this show?" And I said, "I have title changes galore, except for a couple of belts, and this is one of the belts I don't see a title change on." I just I don't know, based on what they've done on television, if Becky should win the belt. I think Mommy should keep the belt for a little bit longer. That's where I'm currently standing. I could be convinced either way, but that's where I'm currently standing. Honey, what do you think?
I agree. And I think that especially with Becky's recent comments about how a belt isn't always needed to propel a storyline, I think that giving her a belt would kind of be, I don't know, a little
Against your statement?
self-serving. Yeah. Do I think Mommy needs a belt? No. But Becky is not the one to dethrone her. So.
Yeah, I had to change the batteries on my microphone. Okay. So Sal's back. Before we continue on, Sal, Gunther or Sammy?
Gunther, no doubt.
Really? You're the
Wow.
only one. You're the only one
Really?
Gunther retaining. By the way,
I said, especially after Monday's package, I see Sammy winning, but then I see
they're setting up
Gable.
Sammy and Gable. They're setting up Sammy Gable in the future.
That's what I
They
think.
can feud without a title.
Yeah, but I think that having the title would mean more because Sammy was like, I would need to do what you couldn't do in front of your family. And then I can see Gable trying to avenge himself.
By the way,
True.
we also
True,
but determined Saturday, by the way, will be Gunther's 666 day as champion.
Yay.
Saturday. Well, think about that. How crazy is that?
666.
666
Well,
on Saturday.
yeah.
Isn't that nuts?
Yeah. I don't know. I like no disrespect to Sammy because I love Sammy, but I don't see him being the one to end that reign.
Fair enough. And now we're on Rhea and Becky. And I believe me and Mandy both agreed that Mommy will retain. And Becky,
Yeah, no doubt. No doubt.
You think no doubt? Okay, no doubt in your mind. Like I was a little torn, but I think Mommy's going to retain.
You mean Gwen Stefani?
What is with your jokes today? Like they're terrible. Like you're off your game today. I don't know why. Like why are you so off your game today?
The silence that just happened after he said that was hysterical.
Anyway, Dad, Becky Rhea.
I gotta go with Rhea because she'll be the only one with the belt in Judgment Day because Finn and Damian would have lost their tag team belts. So,
or is she?
We'll get to there. We'll get there on night. We'll get there on night 2.
Or
let's see what double.
Or maybe because of her retaining the belt, it will cause cracks within the Judgment Day.
We'll get to that night 2. I have the same thoughts on night 2. The same thoughts. Okay, so we'll fast. Do we want to cover the tag match, or we want to wait until we get to the other matches on night 2, and then we'll tie everything together with the
I feel like it would make more sense to just.
Okay, we'll do it that way. Night 2, we'll do the other matches, and we'll come back.
Okay.
A match that literally got announced as they announced the cards. Even though this match has pretty much been on paper for weeks on SmackDown. They've been setting this match up for literally 2 months on SmackDown, yet for some reason they waited until Raw to announce it, which is hysterical to me. It is a Philadelphia street fight. It is the Pride. I swear to God, that's the name of their team. Bobby Lashley and the Street Profits versus the Final Testament. Wow, these are terrible names. Karrion Kross and Authors of Pain. I have a feeling this is just here to make sure the Profits are on the show and that Lashley's on the show because Lashley wasn't on the show last year. And there's no reason for the Pride to lose. Honey?
Okay. First of all, the reason why this match is happening is so that on season 2 of Bianca and Montez, he can fret about not having a WrestleMania match. And then when it gets added, they can talk about how wonderful it is.
Right there. You're on the button. There it is. This is the very last to announce it.
So we're using this for storyline purposes.
Yes. And
we did
also,
it on TV for 4 years. What's the difference?
And yes, and also on season 2, they're going to talk about how Bianca doesn't understand her place in WWE without a belt. And how she's going to have to take on this role as a mentor to a new up-and-coming wrestler.
Mandy just booked out like the season 2 of Bianca Beyonce.
Why not in season 2, Bianca kind of rethinks things, and now her biological clock is ticking, and she wants a child.
Well, that's she is going
That's
to.
season 3. That's season 3.
As this mentor to Jade is going to tell her how wonderful being a mother is and how much it's brought to her life. So then, at the end of season 2,
no, that's season 4.
Bianca is going to go to Montez and say, "I'm ready to have a baby," and that's how we're going to go to season 3, which is
then in
going to be
season
pregnancy.
4, Montez has cold feet.
This is amazing.
So
You know what it is?
the name of this episode is going to be mapping out Bianca and Montez.
I just wrote down though. I literally put a time code down because this is going to be a clip of this week's show because this is absolutely amazing.
So that being
The
said,
Montez and Bianca show.
the Pride is going to win. They have no reason not to. The only thing I'm upset about is that the women aren't technically in the match.
I can see
And
that.
I have that issue. I have that issue with the LWO versus Dominic and like I have that issue with that too. I feel like we could have had 2 mixed tag matches here, and I think that there was a really missed opportunity.
I thought that's what we were doing with this match because they had the women attack each other. I thought that's what we were doing.
But keep in mind, it doesn't mean that the women won't be on the outside of the ring.
No, I agree. They're going to fight each other, but Mandy had a point. Like it's different to be on the card. Like they're not on the card, listed on the card.
Yes, and and even more so, I'm more angry for Zelina and Elektra because especially Zelina, she's been at the heart of this entire time.
At the beginning.
Right.
And I understand that they're getting a match on Friday, but that's not the same.
No, it's not.
Right.
It's on the same show as the Dre and things like that. So like.
Yeah, and I think that there are, especially with Zelina and Elektra, but you have 2 huge opportunities that are missed. But it's okay because maybe they will discuss why BFAB wasn't chosen for the match in season 2 of Bianca and Montez.
Okay,
so BFAB
let me paraphrase this by saying
who?
We started off with
who, but she's legitimately in this storyline. So like,
so I mean, we started off with the pay-per-view legacy, and since then, have we not showcased the female talent as much as they need to be?
By the way, Evolution, not Legacy. Number 1.
I'm sorry, Evolution.
And number 2, Mandy had a very valid point. But here we are. Interesting part is we're asking for Scarlett Bordeaux and BFAB to be in a wrestling match at WrestleMania, which is very funny to me.
But I have a question. There are no women's matches that don't have titles involved.
That is weird, especially after all the women's stuff we're talking about. Oh no, the 6-woman tag.
Oh, okay.
The 6-woman tag.
Okay.
Meh.
The tag champions are in it, but the tag belts are not. That's to showcase Jade and them. That's to showcase the women.
But that's only because our women's tag team champion cannot wrestle. Otherwise,
because the tag team champions are cursed. Because those damn belts are cursed.
I would guarantee that if Asuka was ready, that would be a match for belts.
Or maybe they have 2 separate matches. You know?
Use the Freebird rule. We use the Freebird rule and interject Dakota Kai.
At the heart of it all, this is proof of exactly what Becky was talking about in terms of NXT versus WWE in terms of women and belts and storylines.
And I'm hoping after this WrestleMania we get to the next year, Triple H more at the helm and having a full year. This is going to be his first full year Mania to Mania. That we have more women's storylines, just women, just no titles needed. Having women's storylines. I'm hoping.
Right. But at the same time, you have Elektra and Zelina, and you have BFAB and Scarlett, and you haven't included them in matches that it would be natural to include them in.
It is very funny that we're having an LWO in Legado match, and like 90% of the LWO and Legado are not even involved in the match. Like it is very funny. Like 90% of both factions aren't even in the match.
And then by that time,
anyway, back to this match. Where are we? We're at Pride and Foul Testament. That's where we are. Yeah. Sal, who are you picking?
Yeah, the Pride, I guess.
Dad?
I'm gonna go with the Final Testament, only because I think you want to get this group over more than they are now, and then later on, Lashley gets so pissed off that he makes some sort of arrangement to say, okay, you guys want this? Let's do this. And they're going to have some sort of other match where basically you're going to have something on the line that's going to be worth something to one of the sides.
I think what's interesting here is at the end of the day, this is very old school, where the Final Testament have been dominating Lashley and the Prophets
Right.
at the beginning of their feud. Like this entire feud has been Final Testament beats up Lashley and the Prophets. Oh,
Yeah.
that's beat up the Prophets. Charlotte Bordeaux interferes. They're being a BFAB. BFAB gets destroyed by Charlotte Bordeaux. Oh, Testament destroys Prophets and Lashley. Like literally been the whole story leading up to. There's no way the Prophets and Lashley lose. There's no way now. Like it was so stupid.
Because
then you have a street fight in Philadelphia and have them lose. It makes no sense.
I can see down the road that the Final Testament gets a shot at the tag straps.
Although I want to throw out there, by the way, that Wade Keller brought this up, listening to him and Rich before we came on. That Wade Keller made a point that Paul Ellering got a WrestleMania card in managing role in 2024.
Hmm.
Think about that sentence. That's crazy.
Yeah.
Right, that's not throwing it out there as something that I heard on Keller and Wade show before I came on here.
That's
okay.
impressive.
Right? All right. Moving on, we have AJ Styles versus LA Knight.
Yeah.
Sorry.
Thank you. Yeah. Thanks. Thank you. Somebody give me yeah.
Sorry, coffee.
Okay, it's all good. It's all good. I figure one of the three of you would give me a yeah. This is an interesting match. This is actually really interesting because I'm not 100% sure where they're going to go with this. Like, I really don't know where they're going. I know where I usually go with my heart, but I like both guys. I've loved AJ for the longest time, and LA Knight, obviously, the LA Knight. So it's interesting where we are here. I'll start with you, honey. Where do you stand on this?
Oh. That's all we need.
Yep. Yeah.
LA Knight winning. Got it.
There's another clue. There's another clue.
Sal?
Just to be different, I'm gonna say AJ Styles. With a little help, of course.
Of course. By the way, I've heard AJ changing his music for this on the show.
So I did see that rumor.
He said it.
He's alluding to it.
He said that. So
he's alluding to it. I did hear that people are thinking he's bringing back his TNA theme,
or the dark TNA theme, not the TNA theme, the dark.
Right.
Theme. I love
because since they have this partnership now, maybe they're allowed to use it.
Or it's actually technically it's not a TNA song. That's actually a real song.
Oh, is it?
The heel song, the heel music. I can't think of the name right now, but it's a real song.
Oh, I didn't know that.
I like they have to ask TNA to license the old like AJ Styles theme music. It's a real song.
Right. Okay.
So I do like the idea. I swear that music kid. I will mark out a little bit because I did love that music. He was a heel in TNA. That was a great music for him in that character. And if this is the character they're gonna do, I have no problem with that change. You know what I mean? If that's gonna be the character they're doing now.
Is it safe to say you don't want none?
She did that. At least that was relevant to the conversation we're having. Well, at least it was relevant. I will say this. I almost want to say this might be almost an unofficial number one contendership match. Almost unofficial
for
the world title, depending on what happens in the main events. Depending on what happens in the main event, we'll get there in a minute. It's weird, which is why I'm leaning towards AJ winning. I'm actually leaning towards AJ winning. LA Knight can talk his way out of anything. So he could lose his match, come on SmackDown, and talk his way into something else. It's not going to be that big of a deal for LA Knight at all. You know, he talked his way out of losing the Roman. It's not going to be that big of a deal. You know what I mean? Like,
oh yeah, I forgot about that.
He didn't lose the Roman, so and he talks his way out of that, and everyone, you just said, you forgot that happened. But and the only reason I remember because we were in the building during the go home show. That's the only reason I remember it because we were there. So LA Knight could easily talk his way out of a loss. AJ wins this match. Dad?
I gotta go with AJ only because I think inadvertently the OC is going to help him win the match, and then you're going to see AJ become really, really pissed off, and
Wait,
has
so hang on. So the
advantage
OC is going to help AJ, and AJ's going to be pissed about it.
inadvertently because
I
he
just want
doesn't
to clarify what you said. I just
Well,
wanna-
didn't he
because
put that or
AJ
something?
wants to do this on his own and no help from the OC.
Okay, I
So
just
Didn't they
clarify what
officially
you
break
said.
up with him though?
Technically,
technically, but I think this
yeah.
is this is the thing that's
it's a
based.
technical thing. They're not officially broken up yet. They're technically broken up.
Right,
I
but then
think
I could
this
see
is
where Dad's coming from because
Yeah.
then I could see him getting upset that they helped him.
right.
I just wanted to clarify what he was saying. That's all. I just wanted to clarify.
Okay.
Yeah.
Right, that's all.
So this is the incident that's going to cause the wedge to split.
Fair enough.
I can see that. I can see that.
I wasn't even going to argue while I just wanted to make sure I was hearing you right. That's all.
Yeah.
All right, let's get to the match that. Come on, you know where I'm going with this. I'm just going to go first. Anyway, the WWE Women's Championship. It is Io Sky versus the Royal Rumble winner, my girl, Bailey. Bailey's winning. Next, Sal, go.
This
Oh,
Io
shit.
Sky reign has been very boring. And I feel like Bailey should win it. I think she deserves it, especially since she's been buried with all this fucking Cody nonsense. Because she deserves goddamn respect too for winning the goddamn Royal Rumble too.
I think actually CM Punk said it perfectly. The Royal Rumble winners should main event WrestleMania both nights.
Yeah.
I agree. That should be the
rule. That should be the rule. No matter who wins, whoever wins the Royal Rumble should main event WrestleMania night 1 and 2. We're doing 2 nights.
I do agree. I do agree with that. And unfortunately, we're not getting that because Cody Rhodes is a fucking asshole. So, with that being said, Bailey is going to win.
Okay, I know I jumped at it real fast to have some fun with it, but no, I will say, there's a rumor going around that Bailey wants Paramore to do her entrance music, new entrance music, and all this kind of stuff. If that happens, it's going to be awesome as fucking hell. And I'm going to be giddy as hell. Bailey wins this match. So I'm just going to throw that out there right now. How do you go? Because you're going to have to deal with me when Bailey wins this match.
Okay. Let it be known that I agree with everything Sal said, except I don't think it's necessarily Cody's fault.
It is
Cody's
Cody's fault. Don't worry
We'll
about
get there.
it.
We'll get there in a minute. We'll have a long talk about that.
He doesn't need to wrestle both nights. I'm sorry. That's just so unnecessary.
Yeah, neither does Roman or Seth.
Well, Roman too, but I'm
We'll
Cody
down the
road.
Anyway,
We'll get there.
I agree that Bailey, and it's not all Cody. I think that Becky, Rhea,
Rock is also involved in this too. Rock's also
but
involved.
no, Becky. But
Well,
I
really,
think
it's The Rock's fault. Let's be honest.
Yeah,
Yes.
but
You're welcome.
Honey, go. Honey, go. I'm trying to steer it. Go.
I think Becky and Rhea, their match has overshadowed Bailey and Io, and I think that was evident in the kickoff.
You're right. You're absolutely right.
And also Bianca being there when she had no horse in the race.
She was there to promote a reality show. That's what she was there for.
Yeah. And, that's fine, but I think that there's other people here to be more mad at than Mr. Rhodes.
But how Bianca was at that kickoff and not Bailey? Bianca was to be there to promote a show, fine. Bailey was not there. It made no sense. Continue.
Yes. So I think that she's been overshadowed by other women. I think that this is her time. I think that this is kind of going to bridge the gap between the heel that never fully worked for her. Like, I will just say that I never really bought into Bailey as a heel, and I think that's why she needed Damage Control. And it will bridge that gap between Damage Control and the Hugger, and you'll get this new kind of mixed character of Bailey, this hybrid version.
How do you say that? It would be pretty cool if they did it like a music thing where you cut into like her original music and then you cut to her Damage Control music and then you bring out like if they do a new song or the Paramore thing, you mix it all together and do one mega entrance music. That would be really cool for this night.
And I would like to see something where it's a little more hybrid, where it is the brighter colors, but it is with the fishnet and the gear that she's got going now, and this kind of attitude where she's just a more mature version of everything, where she's kind of just that, like
100% dead ass.
Where she's learned from her mistakes, and she can take that with her as she's got the belt.
I think I'm going to argue about that ass. I'm not going to argue about that ever. No. Dad, go ahead.
I see Bailey coming out on top.
Hope so.
But that's what he said.
Oh my.
Um,
Wow, I just got a visual. I'm blushing. Oh my, I'm blushing.
oh,
now.
gee.
He wants her on top with that ass.
Thank you. Continue.
Oh my.
Yeah, because Io Sky hasn't done anything of any type of substance, and I think people are generally bored with it because everything is centered on damage control, but you're not basically taking the champion and highlighting
She's
and
not
have
standing
her,
out. That's the thing. She's not standing out in that group.
Absolutely
correct.
not.
And I don't see them trying to put the belt back on Asuka because that would be a big misjustice. So we'll put it on Bailey, and by that time, who knows? Maybe Charlotte Flair will interject herself into another championship match.
Oh, fuck
No,
off.
please no.
By the
Fuck
way,
Charlotte Flair.
I want to say something here. First of all, it's interesting that Io is the champion. Yet, if you watch SmackDown, we've seen more Dakota Kai returning to the ring, and that's been overshadowing things. And the Kabuki Warriors are the Kabuki Warriors, and they're the tag team champions, overshadowing the women's world champion on in the same faction.
Correct.
Literally overshadowing her. By the way, I have zero clue, and I joked this with Mandy because there was a graphic of all the current champions and how long they've held their belts. How in the blue hell has Io held his belt for over 240 days? Like,
Has it been that long?
It's been that long. I just looked it up on Wikipedia. He's had the belt since SummerSlam. The belt since SummerSlam.
Wow.
I would never believe that if I didn't see
That's
it
pathetic
the other
because
day.
guy doesn't feel that way.
Once he cashed in Money in the Bank at SummerSlam.
Because they've been giving her all these chances they're giving her all of the chances to make her character kind of be more outspoken, and it's not because they're not capitalizing on that.
So, all right, let's move on. We have the WWE United States Championship match. It is Logan Paul defending against Randy Orton and Kevin Owens. I'm going to throw it to Sal first. Go.
For the longest time, I was convinced that Kevin Owens was going to win. But I don't know. You look at that name, Logan Paul, and as a business person, as Triple H, I would say him winning at WrestleMania would make headlines and retaining the title. So I don't see him losing this at the moment. I do see him losing it eventually, maybe to Kevin Owens, but it hurts me to say, I don't think he's going to lose. I think he's going to retain.
I honestly think this is a triple threat match so that Orton doesn't get pinned by Logan Paul. I think this is a triple threat match. I have a feeling if they were going to have Orton win the belt and have the belt taken off Logan, they wouldn't have made this a triple threat match.
Right.
So that's what I think. That's what I honestly think. So I think Logan Paul's also retaining.
Can someone answer the goddamn phone?
Honey, won't you go? Won't you go?
I cannot in good conscience say that I think Logan Paul is going to win. I can't. And I already hate the fact that there's gonna be a fucking Prime bottle on the.
Ugh.
Oh yeah, we haven't even talked about that. We didn't even talk about that today.
So, honestly, if we're going to be realistic in terms of who I want to have the belt, my heart says KO, my brain says Orton, because technically he shouldn't even be here. And I think that we forget about that he was basically told he wasn't going to be able to wrestle again, and he's back. And I think that this is kind of his farewell tour, and you can see that in the way he's reacting to the fans and how his character is. And I think let's start it off at Mania.
What's interesting is me and Mandy have been talking about this lately, that Orton looks like he's having so much more fun than he's ever had in his career. lately. And we notice it even at we've noticed it every show we've seen. Like he's having so much more fun and having fun and joking around and high-fiving fans and stopping to take selfies. And like, this is not Randy Orton from 5 years ago. This is not the same guy. It's so cool to see. And he had the dad bod lately. He actually doesn't have a full chiseled body anymore. Like he actually had a little bit of body fat on him now. Like interesting to see a new Randy Orton.
Those munchies were kicking in.
Yeah, there it is. There it is. But it's nice and refreshing to see him being a human being for a change. It's so nice since he came back as Survivor Series. Dad, this match.
I think Logan Paul's gonna lose it to Randy Orton. I really do. I think that, Randy deserves to have a championship belt after, the comeback he's made. And if you saw his biography on A&E and how they went into it and how he's kind of like talking with his family about all the memories he's got, I think this is probably going to be, if at all, his swan song, because he has been connecting with the fans and interacting with them more on a positive note. He's not ostracizing himself from the fans and from the other talent in the locker room. So I think if you want to go out on a high note, this is the way to do it, by giving him the belt.
I have no idea why the dog is going so crazy behind me, and Mandy's checking right now. So, all right. So main events. We have three big main events going on here. Let's go back to night one. We have the Bloodline, Roman Reigns and The Rock, still strange to say, versus Cody Rhodes and Seth Rollins. If the Bloodline wins, Bloodline ruled on night two, which I still don't have a clue what the hell that means, even though they tried to explain it on Monday. They didn't do a really good job of that. And if Cody and Seth win, there will be no outside appearance on night two. Obviously, this all ties together with the two world title matches on night two. I think I'll just say them all, then we'll wrap it all up into one big thing. So on night two, we have the Universal Championship, obviously, in the main event. It is Roman Reigns versus Cody Rhodes. And we have Seth Rollins defending the World Heavyweight Championship against Drew McIntyre with CM Punk on commentary. So those are all the three big matches we'll be talking about here. I'll go in a minute. Sal, why don't I start with you? Where do you see this all going?
Okay, I'm going to start with, obviously, the night one main event. I feel like it's too obvious that the Bloodline's going to win, and we're going to have Bloodline rules on night two to just stack the odds against Cody Rhodes, because that just seems to be what the story is all about. That being said, I'm gonna do the Undisputed first, and then I'm gonna say World Heavyweight second. With Bloodline rules, I'm not being a hater, but I think just to fuck with everyone, I think Roman Reigns is going to retain, and not necessarily because of Bloodline rules. I think the option will be there, and I can see him, they're going to come out to help interfere, and Roman's going to say, you know what? I'm going to do this on my own. I don't need you, even though we won the right to have you help me, kind of. And I think Roman's going to win clean, because he hasn't done that in a while, so that's another story to tell right there. And then we can worry about him dropping the title at SummerSlam or whatever to Cody Rhodes or whatever. Now, Seth Rollins, they're going to play up that injury again. So he's going to get injured, quote unquote, in this tag match. Drew's going to think it's easy pickings, and it's not. See Seth Rollins putting up a hell of a fight. But I do see Drew McIntyre winning with help from CM Punk, because CM Punk wants to face Drew McIntyre for the title when he is healed. So I say Roman Reigns retains, even though he has the option for help outside, but he won't ask for it or want it. And then Seth Rollins gets quote-unquote injured. Drew McIntyre takes advantage, and he finally wins the World Heavyweight Championship in front of a crowd or whatever.
All right. I had a feeling you were going to go there anyway. I knew you were going to pick Roman. It's just I know you well enough to know you were going to do that. So I'm going to go with the theory I've been going off of, and it's the Avengers theory that I've been using. Based on also picking Jimmy earlier to win his match. I'm using the logic of the bloodline.
And no cash in.
Okay, no cash in. Well, I'm going to use the Avengers theory that I've been using, where night one is going to be Infinity War, where the bloodline wins. And Cody looks weak. He is beat up. Seth looks weak. He gets beat up. And then bloodline wins, and we have bloodline rules in night two. I actually do see Drew beating Seth to win the championship. My gut wants to say that Damian Priest catches it on Drew to drive Drew more fucking crazy, but I have heard recently that he has resigned, and he has, from what I've heard, he has resigned, which is a very big deal. And he's on the graphic for Clash of the Castle in June.
Right,
so that's a big deal. That's a very big deal.
Yeah.
So I have a feeling to put both on Drew. And now, as for the main event, we have the Endgame ending, where Roman brings everybody out. Roman brings everybody out. Everybody comes out to help Roman. You bring people in that don't even work here yet. Like I've heard rumors of fucking Tonga during WWE. People like that, bring them in. Like I heard Lance Ottawa went on Twitter and putting shit out there. Like bring everybody in. But then Cody brings out his people, where everyone that works at the company. Like I want to see like
John Spears,
like have John Cena come out and have him come out and help Cody, and like Seth obviously helps, and like Pharaoh comes out and Pharaoh comes out and attacks Solo because and or goes out to the Rock. I think that would be even funnier, and like all this kind of stuff goes down, and the last part of this is Stone Cold comes out and takes care of the Rock one last time. They go to the back. And then we have 10 more minutes of Roman and Cody, one-on-one, straight up. No one else interferes, and Cody wins the title. And the crowd goes absolutely apeshit in Philadelphia to win the title. I just have a weird feeling that if Cody loses again, this Philly crowd is going to riot. I have a weird feeling this Philly crowd is going to fucking riot.
It's for, a puddle on the ground. I mean, they'll just find any excuse to riot.
It's a gut feeling of mine. But I have a weird feeling they're going to give him a Rocky entrance. Like, something tells me they're going to give Cody like a Rocky entrance. I think he's going to get the band.
What I'm going to say, right?
What are you going to say?
Elaborate entrance, he's going to lose.
Hey, Bianca always won with her elaborate entrances using your logic.
That's true.
But like, that's how I see it. Like, I've heard Sylvester Stallone's going to be involved in this. Like, all this kind of stuff. Like, I've heard Jason Kelsey's name now coming up. Like, there's a lot of stuff going on.
Oh, come on, no.
Heard it yesterday.
Remember, we're in Philadelphia.
Well, I heard this yesterday. And also, there was something throughout there that then at the end of the day, you can say last year was Rocky and this year was Rocky 2, where he actually wins. Because Rocky didn't win in Rocky 1.
Oh, no.
Rocky didn't win in Rocky 1. Rocky didn't win.
No, don't say that. No, I don't like that.
So that's what I'm throwing out there. Honey, I throw it to you.
Oh, what about MJF, by the way?
He helped Cody.
Yeah, is he going to come out and help Cody too, since he's not on the roster anymore?
Okay. No, he helped Cody. Go ahead.
I legitimately have absolutely no clue how this is going to go. I am just excited, and I hope that it's good. Like, for all this buildup, it's been way too much. I need to see it play out, and I'm looking forward to it. As to who wins, who loses, not a clue. And I like it that way.
Okay. And do you have any title changes happening here of any kind? Or
there's definitely gonna be title changes. I think Cody's gonna win. I think Drew's gonna win. I have heard rumors about how Damian will try to cash in on Drew, and that will get thwarted by the Judgment Day, who then tells Damian in so many ways that he is no longer needed. And Drew is now the new daddy of the Judgment Day.
Ooh.
Oh.
Okay.
I like that idea. That's a cool idea. That's a cool idea.
He would lose both tag titles and his briefcase all in the same night.
Lose everything.
Essentially.
And the Judgment Day on Monday. That'd be intriguing.
Yeah.
Ooh.
Yeah.
And that's a story to tell for a little while.
Wow.
And it also it gives Drew something a little heftier, and it would allow him to bring the title into
Clash at the Castle.
And I think that's kind of their way of, and that might have been what tipped him into signing a contract saying, listen, you can have this going into Clash at the Castle
Right.
as kind of a, I'm sorry for the shit that we put you through the first time.
Imagine if they do something like Drew versus Gunther or something like that in Scotland.
Oh my lord!
Wow, I
For
just thought about
both
that.
titles.
Yeah, if Gunther had the title and do something like that, that'd be intriguing. Like, there's a lot of ideas you can throw out there now if Drew has the title. Like, there's so many more things you can do with Drew with the belt. Like, there's so many things you can do. Yeah, it's to you. 3 matches, the main events. What are you thinking?
Okay, let's start with night one. I'm gonna have to say that the Bloodline is going to win on night one, which is going to cause the issues for night two. But here's the thing: on night one, I think there's going to be a little bit of controversy, only because another family member is going to interject themselves into this. And I've heard that there is another younger brother that is going to kind of come in. We're trying to get him into this, and I wouldn't be surprised if that would be it. And I also heard things where they've been talking to Stone Cold and Hulk Hogan to come in and make it.
I don't expect to see Hogan. I don't expect to see Hogan.
But Stone Cold definitely, I can see kind of interjecting himself somewhere in the match.
Okay, well, but I remember something. Have you seen the Stone Cold Easter basket? So
No.
Stone Cold apparently got an Easter basket
Okay.
with beer in it on the back of his truck that he's had for 21 years. And
Okay.
that's the last time that Rock and Austin had a match. It was 21 years ago. With Easter eggs and beer. It's one of the funniest things I've seen in a long time. Was Stone Cold showing off an Easter basket with beer in it. I laughed so hard at that last night during rodeo. I was laughing so hard at that.
My thing with this is, okay, so now night two we have the Bloodline rules. But the other thing that I'm guessing is Cody's gonna have, if you want to call it a posse, we'll call it a posse. Of people coming in that will offset something. But one of those people coming in is going to be Rikishi.
Ooh, I didn't even have Rikishi on my list. Like, wow, I didn't even think about that.
Because Rikishi is basically going to try to separate the twins from basically having his inner fighting and conflict. And he's going to blame everything on Roman. And then Rock's position is basically his final boss is going to lay the candy smackdown on Roman and now want to be the tribal chief and the final boss.
I think I had to have an issue with The Rock costing Roman the title. I didn't have an issue with that personally. Personally, I think if you're going to have the belt taken off Roman, you have to do it
in a way
after the interference happens.
So I just wanted to add to my thing because it just dawned on me. Correct me if I'm wrong. They got rid of the Hell in a Cell pay-per-view or plea or whatever, right?
Yeah, it's not a pay-per-view anymore. No, it's not.
Yeah, okay.
The schedule until August has been out and it's not on there.
So what if he loses, build it up again, SummerSlam, the return of the Hell in a Cell without having it be its own thing. Right. And then no interference whatsoever because you're in Hell in a Cell.
Maybe. Or you do the rematch. Hell in a Cell. Do the rematch.
Well, that's what I mean. Roman versus.
Well, yeah, even if Roman loses,
Hell in a Cell.
The rematch. You can still do the rematch.
I see what you mean.
Because
I feel like it would make more sense. Cody lost because of the Bloodline rules and say.
Here's the thing that Cody's going to finish the story and get the belt, and we all know Dustin's probably going to be backstage.
Dustin can't come out though. The WWE contract.
Right, he can't come out, but he'll be backstage. So yeah, Cody's going to have something up his sleeve, which is going to cause Roman and The Rock to kind of shake their heads like, what? And
What
then
about Arn Anderson?
And the Glock. And the Glock.
And I mean, I didn't want to choose violence in that sort of aspect, but sure.
I'm sorry,
why
but the
not?
first thing I thought already was the Glock. I'm sorry. The first thing I came to mind.
So I mean, it wouldn't surprise
There's a
me
callback.
on night 2 if you have other family members within the bloodline that basically side with Cody to try to basically make
Like
sense out of how Roman has
Jey
basically
Uso?
taken the family and causing all this turmoil and conflict.
I wonder, using dad logic from earlier, where he said he thinks Jay and Jimmy may shake hands, if Jimmy turns on Roman.
No, actually, what I see is I see the
That's an
Rock.
idea to throw out there.
I'm seeing the Rock turning on Roman, and basically when you have Clash at the castle, I see a Roman versus Rock match for Tribal Chief Final Boss.
I can see them doing that. The only
I
thing
could see them doing that, but didn't you say he's like going to start doing a movie soon or
he
whatever?
can't, from what I've heard, he's not be able to wrestle until SummerSlam. Rock. He won't be able to wrestle until SummerSlam after this.
So,
Okay.
So if you're going to do
And-
that, do a SummerSlam. And right. So
and as far as Seth goes, yeah, Seth is going to re-aggravate an injury, and yeah, Drew's going to basically take the belt, but Damian will cash in. Damian will be the new champion, and that is basically going to cause some rift within the Judgment Day because Finn will no longer be a champion. The only other belt is going to be Rhea. They're trying to get Dom out because Dom is like dead weight. So you bring in.
I know you don't like Dom, but Dom's probably the most interesting character in there right now besides Mommy. That's a weird part.
So basically, you bring
Mommy right now.
Drew into the Judgment Day to basically get back at Damian.
Well, that is WrestleMania and WrestleMania week and WrestleMania weekend.
Wonderful.
And that's where we are. By the way, I hate to admit this. So I went on Twitter to see if there's any of the news for today, see if there's anything else I had to bring up here. And the first 2 speed matches are up. And can I admit that I did not expect the first speed match to be Ricochet versus Dragon Lee? I did not expect that to be the first match.
Holy cow!
I did not expect that to be the first match.
And if I remember right, the matches are only 3 minutes long.
Yeah, like putting them in a 3-minute time limit match sounds fun as hell.
So a lot of flippies.
No, I haven't watched it yet, obviously, because we're doing this, but I just feel that the first match up is that match. I'm like, what?
So we're gonna go all out and see what we can do in 3 minutes.
Yeah, pretty much. I have to watch that.
That's what he said.
All right, let's get out of here. I gave Mandy the ability to give us an outro today. So what are we closing with?
Sami Zayn,
Yes,
let's go.
perfect timing. Let's hit the let's go. Perfect timing. You didn't hear it, but it was perfect. Al, wrap us up. Go.
Yeah, for more information on our show, including where you can find us on social media or watch the show on YouTube or TikTok while it's still up, go to theblakeandsouthshow.com and please don't forget, comment or leave a rating and review. Tell us we smell and we will read it on the show.
Or can you leave a voicemail?
Wow. Although people don't have that number available to them. That was more of a thing for us. But emails and TikTok comments. Go right ahead. There's gonna be a bunch of clips from the show. Don't worry about it. By the way, I want to thank all the people that loved our the game show clips that I put up. All the clips from the 500 show. They people loved that. So that was pretty cool. So
Nice.
We can do that again.
We will in the future, definitely. That's your thing.
Hey, yeet. And
Yeah, thank you. That's it. No.
That's it. Yeah, we've been going on too long.
I'm getting cut off. Wow, thanks. Hey, if you have a local wrestling independent organization where you live at, please patronize these people. These are young men and women coming up in the world of professional wrestling and sports entertainment. They want to show you what they can do as far as the move sets, good promos, characters, gimmicks, the whole works, the whole enchilada.
And Mark is going off on a tangent.
I'm at ringside telling you to speed up, Rocky.
Where's the timer on SmackDown? Where's the timer?
Because these young men and women want to get to that brass ring to get them into a better wrestling organization. So please patronize these people. Show them that you love them. they want to love you back and do this respectfully and act like adults. Treat each other with kindness. We only got one world. We only got each other. Let's make it a better place.
I feel like
And as always, it has been your pleasure.
oh my god. No, that's gonna be on my Instagram later. Anything you want to plug here? Or anything you want to say here?
Bye.
Wait.
Wait, hold on. Sal's getting something. I'll say next week we'll be back to look back at Wrestlemania week. See how many hours of programming I watched, and I'm still gonna be home the rest of the week. So I have a lot of things I want to watch. And more. And Susan, we'll talk about the Bray documentary on next week's show. And Sal is holding up Mandy's book right there to close things off. So there you go.
Hey, you can read it to your kids, you can read it to your grandkids and teacher, you can read it to your students.
All right, so Mandy, thank you so much for coming. Thank you so much. That was amazing. Thank you so much, honey, for coming on. This was so much fun today. Oh my god. Thank you all for listening to an extended version of the Blake and Sal Show with Mark. I'm Blake.
I'm Sal.
I'm Mark. We love you guys.
Have a good day, everybody.
Peace out. And eat.
But more importantly, see ya.
Thank you so very much. Goodbye. Mwah, and good night.
Bye bye, bitch.
Cody Rhodes.
Kids.